the St. Louis Blues. It's National Hockey Night. Mike Keenan is a coach who knows what he wants. When he came to St. Louis, the cornerstones with Brett Hull, Brendan Shanahan, and Curtis Joseph were already there. He brought with him Esa Tikkanen, Glenn Anderson, and Greg Gilbert from the champion New York Rangers. One purpose in St. Louis, to bring the cup to the Blues. Inside the pond, where the Mighty Ducks call home, they'll have their 36th consecutive sellout tonight as the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim are home to take on the team that's on the road, the St. Louis Blues. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and Elmore Gatti. Welcome to National Hockey Night here in Southern California. And would you believe this shortened National Hockey League season is already more than half done? 8 teams from each conference will go to the Stanley Cup playoffs, and in the Western Conference, these are the top 6 right now. Note St. Louis in 5th place with 30 points, well positioned to go. Those teams battling for a spot, however, include Vancouver and Dallas 7 and 8, and you see Anaheim right now last, but within striking distance, and they are a team that appears to be getting better. While the St. Louis Blues, Bill, are a team, are they coming together or falling apart?
Well, a little bit of friction. Mike Keenan this week criticized Brendan Shanahan. He said he wasn't working hard enough, but I don't think Mike Keenan says anything without trying to get a desired result. He knows at this time of year you have to pull together, and to me, teams this time of year are like these 2-piece sticks. If you examine the different properties, they're vastly different. This is shiny, it's expensive compared to this. To me, this represents the star players, the goal scorers, the high salary players, and to me this is just a piece of wood. It represents the pluggers, the grinders, maybe penalty killer or a fighter. By themselves, they're worth nothing. It's just like a team. When you put them together, it becomes a formidable tool, and a team that pulls together ends up with ordinary people accomplishing extraordinary things. Mike Keenan knows that sticks break right here and teams break right here. He has been known to criticize players, even to attack them, to create unity. I think that's what he's doing with Brendan Shanahan.
And only history will tell whether or not that, in fact, works for him. One of the problems that never happened was Mike Keenan, and this man, his leading goal scorer, Brett Hull. There has been no problem. In fact, this man loves playing for Keenan. He'll be there tonight.
Are you a jock? Do you like to rock? ESPN presents Jock Rock, the greatest crowd rockin' sports anthems of all time on one CD. You can't get any closer to the action without getting hurt. It's not for fans, it's for fanatics. Jock Rock at record stores everywhere.
This is me 5 years ago when I joined Pound Pinchers. And this is me now.
For permanent fat loss, diets don't work. You need to build muscle.
Before, after.
And the best way to do that is with the SoloFlex Rocket. No matter what shape you're in, you can rock your way to a slimmer figure and more muscle. So get on the rocket today and get on the road to permanent fat loss. The SoloFlex Rocket. Call now for a free brochure and video.
Rule number 52, face off. Rule number 25, to play the game, use a puck. The Devils take on the Rangers Wednesday. The NHL rules on ESPN2.
Hi, everybody. Steve Levy along with Mike Milbury back in our National Hockey Night studios. Mike had to physically remove Dickie V out of the chair, but hockey takes over the network for the next 3 hours. Our game for you tonight, the Blues and Ducks coming up from the pond. 2 other games that will drop the puck in a couple minutes from now as well. Starting, Mike, with the Bruins and the Devils.
Well, the Bruins and Devils, a rematch between Cam Neely and Claude Lemieux. Last time these two guys met, it was Neely mopping up the Boston Garden Ice with Lemieux, but Lemieux got his job done. He got Neely out of the game.
San Jose finds themselves in Calgary.
Well, I think the Sharks, after a terrific start, have really stumbled. They're 0 for their last 4 games. It'll be a tough night for them at the Saddledome.
All right, game underway right now. After 1 period of play, Pittsburgh leading the Senators 2-0. To note in that one, Kevin Stevens, his first game back from injury. Couple of finals from earlier today. Chicago over Winnipeg by a score of 3-2. Joe Murphy scored his 13th goal in another road victory for the Blackhawks. And Tampa Bay wins in Buffalo. John Muckler, the coach of the Sabres, was involved with a fan in an altercation at the end of that one. More coming up in the intermission when Mike and I come back. But up next, the opening face-off, the Blues and the Ducks, coming up from Anaheim.
Okay, new rules. Individuals are no longer more important than the team.
You want a piece of that championship? Put it in here. Nobody can do it alone, but together we can do it.
Sports magazines include more team photos. More game balls go to linemen. We all play more as a team. We pat someone on the butt when they fail and celebrate like madmen when they succeed. Starter, it's about team.
Jim, it's a pressure cooker down here.
Come on, Coach, you gotta make sure.
Hey, let's go for 2.
Gotta be 3, man.
Okay, we're gonna go with pepperoni, mushroom, and sausage.
Now, any toppings in a Domino's medium hand-tossed pizza, $8.99.
I would have gone for the ham and onion.
I am not a role model. I am not paid to be a role model. I am a spokesperson. I am paid to extol the benefits of 1-800-COLLECT.
ESPN's coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Dodge. The more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge. By Bud Ice, the official beer sponsor of the NHL. And by your local Yamaha dealer, who invites you to see their exciting line of motorcycles, ATVs, and snowmobiles.
Welcome back, everybody, to the pond in Anaheim. Joining Bill and I here, the man who just played the saxophone national anthem. Wasn't that him? It was. I mean, he did an unbelievable job. Motorcycle man, Al Morganti.
I don't play that saxophone, but I will tell you that in today's paper there was a note that tonight's game could be a matchup of 2 of the premier rookies in the league. Of course, Paul Correa is here. They got it half right. Correa, one of the stars in the league. He's making a run at a Calder Trophy, a legitimate candidate now. The other name they mentioned, Ian LaPerriere. Guess what? He's not here, despite the fact that he was the leading rookie in points per game over the first half of the year. Finds himself in the minor leagues. Because Mike Keenan thought he'd plateau and the veterans had caught up.
And so it goes as Team St. Louis continues to be put together and be remade into Team Mike Keenan, who comes into this game 5th all-time best winning percentage in the history of the National Hockey League at .600.
And what you know is where Mike Keenan goes, change follows close behind. 15 players on the 26-man St. Louis roster were not with this team at the end of last season.
Bear and Curtis Joseph are the 2 goaltenders, each #1 for their respective teams in this game tonight. The Mighty Ducks in their home white uniforms, wrapped around by Bobby Corkum, Gary Volk, David Karpa out there on the line for the Ducks. They've got Robert Dirk on defense, Joe Sacco out there. Cleared around near side for Brendan Shanahan. Brad Hull is in the middle. Shot deflected out deep. Hull, of course, is a winger. But because they are so short for centers, Brad Hull's agreed to play the center position. This is the 3rd game that he has played at center. All of them have been on this 5-game road trip. This is the 3rd of the 5. They played in Edmonton and lost by 1. They tied on Thursday in Los Angeles in a game we had on the Deuce, and now this one here.
And Brett Hull took so many key faceoffs. I mean, when Mike Keenan makes the change, whether it's Brett Hull, the center, doesn't matter, one player to another position, he gives it all to him. He let Brett Hull take the key faceoffs at the end of the game.
He would rather have Brett Hull playing wing. There is Paul Correa. Correa, the rookie leading scorer in the National Hockey League, dumps it in. Cleared around the net. Blues intended for Gilbert. Comes back out to center. Taken there Milos Poland, who just was acquired from Philadelphia and is having an impact for the Mighty Ducks already, covered up by their goaltender Guy Hebert. Take a look at the scratches we have in tonight's game for the Mighty Ducks and for the St. Louis Blues. Blues not carrying a lot of extras. Zombo's back home. McRae hasn't played. Stasny's here not playing. Tardif is the real scratch in this game for them.
Yeah, because he is one of their rookies, and he has been doing such a good job. Big, tough winger. But Mike Keenan now, because he has moved so many young kids in and out of his lineup, sent some back to the minors, tried some. He really knows what he's got now going down the stretch. And believe me, folks, we are down the stretch. We're just about at the 20-game-to-go mark for most teams.
Mighty Ducks have some injuries. Kerber's got a wrist problem. Todd Krieger's got the groin problem. Shot from the point. Holder off the blocker and goes in behind the net on Guy Hebert. Picked up there and swung around. Not out of the zone by Steve Rushin. And the Blues will go back in their own end to get it. Blues continuing to look for personnel who will take this team to the playoff. Hesatikin is one of them. He's shot. Deflected wide into the corner. Hebert couldn't go back to get it. Mike Ferner goes over. Mike Ferner called up on the 30th of January. Dumped it back out. Deflected off Holder at center ice. Bill Holder for the St. Louis Blues wearing 33 will get a lot of ice time tonight. At center it is loose. Nobody's got control. Finally picked up by Hesatikin and his stick picked up from behind by Valery Karpov. Karpov knocked down. He and Tikkanen do a little dance on the ice. And finally, the Ducks come away with it. It'll be swept in wide by Steve Rushin.
You see all that clutch and grab? We will see a lot of that from the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. They have gone to the full trap. They had to find a way to cut the shots against down, to cut the goals against down. They've gone to the full trap. You will not see a Mike Keenan team playing the full trap, even a partial trap.
It's a team like the Blues looking to be wide open, going against the team, the Ducks, that tries to shut it down. On the intercept, Patrick Karnbach. Karnbach cleared it away through center ice. Davidorski on the pass left side. Duchesne intercepted, tried to clear it out. Ends up in the St. Louis bench. Man has had the problems with Mike Keenan over the last week. In fact, most of this season. Brendan Shanahan. Keenan wants him to play tougher, bigger, and give him a little bit more.
Yeah, Brendan Shanahan can start hitting like this guy opened up the game, Bobby Corkum. You might have recognized him with the number 20 the last time we saw him, but he switched to number 19. Watch Corkum here on Murray Barron. Ooh, I didn't even know if Barron saw him coming. The Mighty Ducks will fall back into the trap if they can't get first-man pressure, but when they've got that kind of jump and that kind of first-man pressure, you won't see them fall back and trap. They want it to be aggressive.
Bobby Corkum won the draw. Bobby Dallas sent it in. You saw Corkum has just 3 goals. One of the problems for the Ducks, they are 24th in offense this season and 24th on defense. It has been a problem both ways. Dallas goes back to get it. One of the things the Ducks have to overcome is that last year they had 9 players with career highs in points. Guys who just have not had the chance to do it before and who aren't going to do it 2 years in a row, and they're not. Duchesne on the far side holds it in. Shanahan to Hull, and he ripped it, and it was blocked by Bobby Dallas. Dallas went down in front of Hull's shot. Send him a medal on that one. Duchesne couldn't get it on the stick, rolled it wide. Bobby Corkum poke checked it away to the corner. Gary Balk was over there to clear it out of the zone.
Well, you have to be so careful if you're playing for the Ducks and you're deep in your zone, because you might think you've got things taken care of down low. What happens? Steve Duchesne, Al McInnes, Jeff Norton, Murray Barron, they'll cut in the way Duchesne did on that last one to generate the attack.
Oh, Correa coming in on the left. Correa shot. Great save off the blocker. Made by Curtis Joseph as Correa broke in a couple of steps ahead of the D. Al McInnes, the blast. If it had been on net, it would have been in. Deflected behind the net. He shot that so hard that Guy Hebert did not react until it was bouncing off the glass behind it. No score.
It was the first full-size pickup to offer 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. It provided a driver's airbag. Its frame and body have been designed to distribute the forces of a frontal impact, with steel door beams to help resist the forces of a side impact. Of all the jobs this truck can handle, none is as important as the one we hope it never has to do. Dodge Ram. The rules have changed. At America's truck stop, the new Dodge.
When the game is on, if the action gets too rough, remember, the ice is always smooth. But and Bud Ice Light, official beer sponsors of the NHL.
Show you how Paul Correa generated that last scoring chance. Here's Al McInnes. Look, he's got two guys coming at him. One of them is Paul Correa. The problem for McInnes is both Ducks are going full speed. They're coming at him just about full speed, and the puck was bouncing. Correa just whizzed by him for that chance.
Puck cleared out to center by the Ducks. LeBeau chips it in right side. LeBeau's the new centerman now with Correa on this line with Sean Van Allen. They played a couple of games together, and Ron Wilson, their coach, has liked what he has seen. LeBeau came over from Montreal last year, adds a little quickness to this line for Correa. Paul Correa plays the wing with him, and has oftentimes this season been ahead of everybody else on the ice. They try and get things set up offensively. LeBeau's someone who can stay with him. Blues in, Tony Twiska tied up in the corner, taken away by Carpa. Carpa, the 23-year-old defenseman, got it out of the zone. Correa dropped it off, brought it in. LeBeau tied up along the boards, trying to get it into the middle. Intercepted there by Jeff Norton. Norton, playing in his 5th game with the Blues, is coming over from San Jose, and he's played inspired defense for them. Changes both ways. Davidorski put it back through the middle. Nobody there to pick it up. Handled by Adam Creighton. Creighton gets it out, has a ticket, and couldn't handle that one. And there are the Blues having trouble getting through center ice. Goaltenders tonight, Guy Hebert, the 28-year-old, 17th start, 5th consecutive for the Mighty Ducks.
He has played so well. He is a former teammate and road roommate of the guy that he is opposing tonight, Curtis Joseph. The only pro athlete ever out of Hamilton College, Clinton, New York, Guy Hebert.
And Hebert has obviously had the huge workload. Mikhail Stoinkov, the backup goaltender, has not seen a lot of action. Bill Holder sends it in. Wide side couldn't be gotten by Mark Turner. Did on the second chance and cleared it out. Holder will go back to pick it up. Holder and Lidster, the defensive pairing for the St. Louis Blues. Creighton tipped it away at center. Again, Mark Turner came over to get it. Held up behind the net by Curtis Joseph. The Mighty Ducks coming off the most lopsided win in their young history. A 5-0 shutout of Calgary on Wednesday, where they played exceptional hockey. 29 saves for Guy Hebert in that game, trying to put together a win streak and get themselves into a playoff spot. Curtis Joseph holds it up at the far end. Karamnov back to get it. Vitaly Karamnov, who has been scratched in, out, down, up for the St. Louis Blues over the last 2 years. That's a ticketing shot. Save made by Hebert. Held in Barron on the left side. Ticketing goes behind the net. Couldn't draw it back in front. The Ducks started up ice. Led by Peter Doris, the UNH former player. Doris got it in left wing, down the middle. Backhander wide of the net. Todd Ewan. He had the chance, couldn't get all of it, but a penalty coming up, as Rob Schick has got a holding call, and our first power play of the game will go to the Ducks.
Boy, what a terrific play by the 18-year-old kid that's playing on defense for Anaheim, Oleg Tverdovsky. I mean, yeah, he's kind of a loose cannon because he's only 18. Once he learns some discipline, look out. Still only 18. What a play to Todd Ewan. Well, Todd got it with the skate, but he just couldn't back it up with the stick. Gold cam, look at it. See, Ewan had it cocked. I mean, he wanted it on the forehand. Instead, it went right into the skates. And Ron Wilson said about Oleg Tverdovsky today, the 18-year-old defenseman, he said he's like most 18-year-olds. He thinks he knows a lot more than I do. So, like my own daughter.
Like his own daughter, he said, and he said, we'll get him to sit out. He said he's kind of moped a little bit. We brought in a couple more defensemen, and suddenly he realized he wasn't the only one who could play. Sean Van Allen dropped it off in the circle. Hull comes back to get it. Power play here as Glenn Anderson is out for a holding at 6:13. Short-handed, Brendan Shanahan way offside was Brett Hull, about 9 miles, 6 feet ahead of him. The power play units for these two teams, oh my gosh, you really don't want to look at them for too long.
No, you take a look at the Ducks' power play success, 25th in the NHL. In case you don't know, folks, there are only 26 teams in the league. And to make matters worse for Anaheim, Anaheim's allowed 7 shorthanded goals on the power play. St. Louis penalty killing, well, they're 2 from the bottom. They are 24th right now.
Amazing that, especially for the Blues, with the talent they have, that their specialty teams would not be any better than what they are. Power play here for the Ducks. They'll start it from behind their own net. Sean Van Allen will stay out there and set up in front of the net when they get it down. LeBeau, Correa, his line mates with him. Bobby Dawes sends it in. Held up Curtis Joseph behind the net. Murray Barron, hard wraparound, got it out to center. Milos Holland reached out, couldn't get a hold of it. Ducks, Milos Holland wearing number 7. Sean Van Allen, and LeBeau lost it to Shanahan. Shanahan just shot it in from the other side 10 left on this power play opportunity for the Ducks. Korea. When a power play isn't working, you can just see the lack of confidence in it. And you can see that right now with the Ducks. Everything is tentative in the way they handle the puck. Al McGinnis clears.
And Gary, one of the things that you can do when your power play is going bad is go back to some basic things. Crowd in front of the net, try to take the vision away from Curtis Joseph, screen, kind of score some dirty goals, some ugly goals. But when your power play specialists up front are as small as Paul Correa and Stefan Lebeau, that option is removed.
Yeah, they've not been doing that. Has to take it a nice intercept. Bobby Dallas has to go back. 34 seconds remaining on this power play chance. Delighted to have you with us, National Hockey Night on this Sunday. And after you've been watching all that basketball, we wanted you to follow something a little smaller here. It's the puck. On the near side, Milos Holland. Holland dumps it in wide of the net. Coming out to get it, Curtis Joseph just pushed it up for Esa Tikkanen. He did not get it, but it's banged out anyway. 13 left on the power play. No shots thus far on this first power play of the game for the Mighty Ducks. Peter Doris tried to send it in, lost it center. Karpov's got it. Karpov cleared the line and headed to the net. Milos Holland is centering pass, tipped away in front. Good save made, and the penalty is over. Here's a break the other way, straight in, shot, score! Glenn Anderson, who had just come out of the penalty box, trickled it in, 1-0 Blues on an even strength goal.
He had everybody mesmerized, dressed in white. I mean, the Ducks were watching the good scoring chance by Steve Ruchin that just about made it. Holland passed to Ruchin, and they got caught. I mean, that's when the guys on the bench and the coach are yelling, behind you, behind you, behind you. But they didn't look fast enough. And Glenn Anderson, I think he went 5-hole on this one. Yep, right between the legs of Guy Barry. Bear got a piece of it, but only part of it.
Glenn Anderson's 5th of the year at 8:22, an even strength goal. He had just come out of the penalty box. And the St. Louis Blues take a 1-0 lead at 8:22 of the first period. Bear got a lot of that, but not enough. Icing ball coming up here, and there is the touch. First period, a pond in Anaheim. Blues up.
It's about change. About breaking rules. And making new rules. About building machines more in harmony with humanity. It's about questioning everything. It's about change. The new Dodge.
Glenn Anderson hasn't stopped laughing yet. He's happy. He just scored to give the Blues a 1-0 lead. Here's what happened. See, both of the Ducks defensemen, they're going to drift in this way. Anderson gets in behind them. Look how deep they are. Oh, there's Anderson out of the box. Anderson did a great job picking that pass up. You know that? It was behind him, and he corralled the pass behind his back with the stick.
Great reception by the veteran. That's his 485th goal. He is now 25th alone at 25th in NHL history in goals scored for Glenn Anderson. The assist went to Miller at 8:22. Cleared in behind the net. Blues up. That was the first odd man rush that the Ducks have given up in 3 games. They have not had an odd man rush against them in their last 2 games.
And it was an unusual circumstance, too, with the guy coming out of the penalty box.
Right out of the penalty box and gone, Glenn Anderson.
And that's why Ron Wilson, the coach of the Ducks, said he wasn't going to do anything to check Fred Hall especially. He said he has killed us on 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, and on power plays. So if we can eliminate those 3 things, we'll have a decent time with him.
Oleg Temedorsky has missed the last 2 games with a pink eye situation. Back in tonight. Brendan Shanahan broke that one up. Ewan took it back the other way. Cleared out Sean Van Allen. It'll go the length of the ice, icing Paul Murray Barrett on the chase. And he got there in time. Lots of other NHL action and news. Steve Levy.
Gary, thanks. And Dodge takes us to Calgary for the Flames and the Sharks. Ilya Byakin, the shot stopped by Trevor Kidd. And speaking of Kidd, the youngest player in the NHL, Jeff Friesen, the power play goal. Gary.
Steve, thanks very much. And there you see in the Pacific Division, Calgary on top, San Jose with 20, Anaheim at 17. The teams battling. Remember, 8 teams from each conference go to the playoffs.
I mean, everybody other than the Calgary Flames in that division, to me, is a dark horse. The Central Division, the division that the St. Louis Blues live in, is by far the strongest division when it comes to potential contenders for the Cup. I mean, Mike Keenan and his Blues, Chicago Blackhawks, Detroit Red Wings, don't count the Toronto Maple Leafs out. And if the Dallas Stars get on a bit of a roll, they can surprise a lot of people. So there are, I think, 5 teams that have legitimate chances of doing something in the playoffs and making a run for it.
There is Peter Doris waiting to move in and take the face-off here. Brett Hull doing that. Hull's getting all these chances on the draws. But Mike Keenan wants to see how he does it. If he's going to play in center for them, that's one of his jobs. Shot deflected and a save made by Guy Hebert. Brendan Shanahan. Murray Barron at the point shot. He'll get it back again near side. Barron whipped it, covered. Shanahan looking for the loose puck. It was batted away and loose. It was loose. Barron again ripped that one wide. 3 shots by Barron. 2 of them ended up on net. And the Ducks clear it out. Shots are 6-3 in favor of the Blues right now. That has been another problem for this Anaheim team. They give up a ton of shots. Backhanded wide of the net. It never ended up in. Brendan Shanahan went down and blocked the Bobby Dallas backhand. On the far side boards, Karpov's got it. He got tied up, taken away by Peter Doris. Whipped it back into the corner. Helmets flying. No shot off that. A backhand pass by Karpov ended up on a St. Louis stick.
It's such a hard pass to make when your back is to the net. You can't see who's coming up to check you, and Karpov didn't see it coming after a couple of great moves to get open.
He got himself in the middle where he had some room to move with the puck. Hasn't taken it. Cleared wide side. Adam Creighton through the middle all alone. No chance on that one for Karamnov as it bounces and ends up as a souvenir. 9:04 left to go here in the first period with the Blues up. And let's check in with Al Morganti.
Well, Brett Hull at center, if nothing else, they're going to get some good laughs for the rest of the season over this. Brett Hull's always complained that he didn't like his centerman after Adam Oates is gone. So I talked to him. I was over in L.A. while they were in, and he said, well, you know, I can't complain about my centerman anymore. I am the center. He was also joking about his face-off situation when he asked Ted Sater how he did on face-offs. He asked it with a laugh, knowing the answer was going to be just about had an over. What we know is Mike Keenan's going to look for some centers by the trade deadline.
St. Louis wins that draw, but it's ripped to wide of the net. Jeff Norton, who had the opportunity. Al McGinnis with that big cannon. Save made off the right leg pad by Guy Hebert. Here comes Correa. 3-on-3. Paul Correa holds it up. Tried to take the shot. LeBeau behind the net. LeBeau dumped it. Dee moved in, deflected, and covered up. Good chance for Mark Berner, who came in from that left point. Shot 7-4 in favor of the Blues, and Anderson's got the only goal. St. Louis up.
Last year, nearly 1.6 million cars were stolen in the United States. That's 1 car every 20 seconds every day of the year. It's time to get serious about crime prevention. It's time for the Club. The Club is a tempered steel lock that's tough to defeat. It remains the only vehicle locking device that's police recommended. I believe the Club to be the best vehicle theft deterrent you can buy. That's why I use it on my personal vehicle. Plus, the Club can protect your vehicle's airbag from being stolen. It's a growing problem that the Club is helping to control. But be aware of the lookalikes and the copycats out there. Be sure your anti-theft device says the Club on the handle. Accept no cheap imitations. Get the one vehicle anti-theft device that police officers like myself recommend. Get the Club. It's time to get serious about crime prevention. It's time for the Club. Now over 10 million sold worldwide.
St. Louis Blues with that even strength goal. It's their 68th even strength goal of the year at 5-on-5. 68-38 for the Blues, and even strength goals got and given. Just the opposite for Anaheim. They're down 55-43 to the opposition. Almost got one there.
Yeah, shot by Paul Correa. That is one thing he's done to change his game. He is shooting a lot more in the last few weeks.
Lindster just decked Paul Correa on the near side. Sean Van Allen. Milos Holden had that last chance at the point, but did not get it on net. Bill Holder brings it out for the Blues. Holder dunked it off, chasing into the zone. Greg Johnson, shot saved by Hebert. There was room, and Johnson found it. And Guy Hebert came up with a big save for the Mighty Ducks. Correa and Lindster still doing battle. Correa dumped it in the corner to Sean Van Allen. Ron Wilson said, Sean Van Allen's our first half MVP and an unsung hero. Number 22 in white, who just lost control, and it's cleared out of the zone.
He's got a big job. He has to be the big man on the Korea-Lebeau line. He's a 200-pounder. The other guys are little 175-pounders. So Sean Van Allen has to do the big man's work. And small guys, Ron Wilson was talking about it today. He was reluctant to put Lebeau and Korea together for a good reason. Not for offensive reasons, because they have the speed, but when you lock up into man-to-man coverage, especially if one of the little guys ends up deep back in his own end, well, you've got to be man-to-man with some pretty big individuals in this league, and that's where Sean Van Allen comes in to try and get a lot of it done. Look at the speed by Craig Johnson, one of the St. Louis rookies, right around Mark Ferner. Terrific move out in front, and Hebert, pretty good recovery.
Third time that Craig Johnson has been called up this season. Came up on March 16 this past week for Syme against Los Angeles. He plays big. A good-looking center. Glenn Anderson's goal at 8:22 with the assist going to Miller has been the only thing up on the board thus far, with the Blues up 1-0. 7:45 left to go here in this first period. Bear held it up behind the net. Sacco on the near side trying to clear it out. Good play by Hull to knock it away. Sacco was right there to get it back. Sacco on the left wing side from Corkum. Big shot deflected wide. Bobby Corkum chasing up midway along the boards. Meets with Shanahan. Brendan Shanahan to Hull. Hull in his own end. Whips it wide side out of the zone. Robert Dirk comes back to get it. Held on to behind the net. Another full house here at the Pond. Their 11th sellout in 11 games this year, and their 36th consecutive sellout for the Mighty Ducks. Sacco sends it wide, and we got a fight and a penalty. Well, we won't have much of a fight. Brendan Shanahan and David Carpa.
And this started about 45 seconds ago deep in the corner, and they just kind of separated and then crossed paths again. Carpa brings a lot of spunk to this lineup. He is a banger.
There was already a penalty called. We'll see what it is after we check in with Steve Levy.
Gary, the Bruins and the Devils from the Meadowlands tonight. Watch collision at the Jersey Blue Line. Who squirts free with the puck? That's Adam Oates. Little shovel to Mats Naslund through some traffic of his own. He beats Chris Terreri getting the start tonight, 1-0 Boston.
Steve, a rumor tonight I heard here, there was a fist fight in the Devils locker room the other day as Claude Lemieux and Scott Stevens got into it, and had to be separated by the equipment manager.
Not Claude.
Yeah. He's asked to be traded, hasn't been traded, and things with the Devils right now are a bit on the ragged side.
Sometimes things like that can be turned into a positive.
There you see the two people who've had words this week, Brendan Shanahan and his coach Mike Keenan. Mike Keenan saying he's not getting enough out of Brendan Shanahan, raised the big contract that Shanahan's got, and that he should be getting more from him because of that, and Shannon called it BS. That I play for money.
Yep, and he also said I don't need anybody to dip into my head to get me revved up to play. I can take care of that myself. And as you can see, Dave Carpa's got him revved up. Now, the other thing about Brendan Shanahan, he has had Craig Janney for the last couple of years, and he's had back-to-back 50-goal years. He doesn't have Craig Janney. The frustration, the adjustment, I mean, all of that stuff to try to generate some offense, plus he was sick. That's hard.
Yeah, that's right. He's asked to do a lot of that on his own now, playing center. Milos Holland sent that one in. Lebeau on the near side. Lebeau dumped it behind the net. Carrier waiting along the boards. Power play underway here. Only one penalty picked up. It's Luke. Van Allen scores! Lebeau, Van Allen, and Carrier on the power play. And a tie it up at 1.
Well, the interesting thing about this Anaheim power play is they've only scored 10 goals on the season. This is goal 11. It is the 4th goal they've scored on the power play against the St. Louis Blues. Milos Holland's shot, I think, deflected because Curtis Joseph did not know where it went after it hit him. And Sean Van Allen, let's see if they hit somebody. Oh, yeah, it deflected off either the Duck player that Steve Duchesne was tying up or Duchesne, but Curtis Joseph lost it. Sean Van Allen didn't. Bingo. 4th power play goal of the season for this team against Mike Keenan's team.
We told you he'd be the man set up in front of the net, and indeed he was that time. Power play, 4th goal overall, 13-14. Sean Van Allen against Curtis Joseph, and has tied this game up at 1-1.
Brendan Shanahan hardly stopped jawing back and forth in the penalty box long enough to watch the goal being scored. That's what he did after they scored. I oughta.
He's got the fire in his eyes, I'll tell you that, Elmore Ganning.
Well, one of the complaints that Mike Keenan has had with Brendan Shanahan above a lot of the complaints we heard about is that maybe he's not mature enough to control some emotions. He was very upset at a tantrum that Shanahan threw one game, ended up in the penalty box. So maybe all that stuff in the box, Keenan's not looking too favorably on.
Oh, he's a tough Irish kid. I wouldn't want to take all of that tantrum out of him, I'll tell you.
You couldn't if you wanted to, I don't think, anyway. Oh, intercepted by Al McGinnis. McGinnis, the shot, and the glove save made by Guy Hebert. Man, oh man, when you see that man winding up in the middle of the circle when you're in net, you kind of move backwards. Our Bud Ice scoreboard. And you see Pittsburgh, Yager adding to his goal total and taking over the league lead in scoring again. Bruins and Devils playing. Carpenter's got his 5th, 1-1 now. Sharks leading the Flames. Sharks battling for a playoff spot. Blackhawks got their victory today. Murphy had the game winner. The Lightning there is a surprise by the distance, 6-1.
How about Buffalo, though? They lost in overtime to Ottawa last night and pounded by Tampa Bay tonight. And this is, like, it's games 2 and 3 of Pat LaFontaine's return.
Yeah, only got 1 in that one. Cleared around by Curtis Joseph. Esa-Tikkanen giving chase as it rolled out to center. Poland and Korea get the assist on that power play goal. Adam Creighton for the Blues. Creighton all the way around the net and a big pile-up in front. Couldn't get it back there. Jeff Norton whipped it in, deflected by Carback to the corner, and a whistle and a penalty coming up, I think, on the Ducks. There was an interference call in front of the net, and the Blues will get a power play out of this one as Robert Dirk goes on the interference call. ESPN's National Hockey Night is going to be continuing next Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. We'll be at the San Jose Arena, the Los Angeles Kings and the San Jose Sharks. National Hockey Night will be seen in the San Jose market next Sunday. The Kings and the Sharks. Who will be coaching? Who will be playing? Who will be the GM? Who will be the president? The Los Angeles Kings are in real disarray right now.
And who will make the playoffs?
Yeah,
including the LA Kings. The Anaheim Mighty Ducks have to make up 7 points, and they have to pass 4 teams on the way to making up those 7 points as we speak to get into the playoffs. That is a huge, tall order, and it has to start, like, how about now?
In any sport, one of the things you look at is not only where you are compared to wins and losses, how many people you got to get over. Always matters, and it's always so much more difficult because those other teams are doing the same thing you are. They're battling to not have you pass them and to pass somebody else. Power play underway here for St. Louis as Dirk is gone. Banged out in front, not out of the zone, but Hull's got it. Hull sends it into the middle. Shot. Miller deflected wide. Nilos Holan went down and blocked that shot. Battle in the corner. Bobby Dallas able to kick it away up to Duchesne, though held it in. Here's Hull. Duchesne. Al McGinnis. Cannon. Save made. Hebert off the glove. Into the corner goes Kevin Miller, the 29-year-old in this power play up front. McGinnis again. They set Miller and Hull up in front. Here comes Duchesne. Hull's shot. That was blocked by Dallas. Batted off the back of the net by Duchesne. Were cleared up the boards by Gary Bull.
Well, you might have noticed a couple of terrific passes on this power play by Brett Hull. That's why Mike Keenan likes him at center. He may prefer him on the wing, but they're not giving up much from a playmaking standpoint when he's at center. And if he can feed Brendan Shanahan, Shanahan's going to get some goals.
Duchesne, McGinnis, Al McGinnis, Shanahan, Hull in this power play along with Miller. Looking in front, batted off the side of the net. Duchesne had snuck in on the near point. Bangs it off the boards as Sean Van Allen was on him, held in. 20 seconds left on the power play. Has a Tikkanen out there now. Tikkanen all alone. Back over to Al McGinnis. He has room. McGinnis' shot deflected. That hit off a skate in front. Chased down by Esa-Tikkanen. 9 left on the power play. Blues on the advantage here, and the game tied at 1-1. McGinnis leaves it for Esa-Tikkanen. Here comes Duchesne again. Score! He came down that alley 3 times, and on the 3rd time, it was right on the tape. 2-1 Blues.
What a great play. And they really put everybody to sleep on the far side on the half boards. Tikkanen and Al McGinnis. The Ducks are trying to cheat to Al McGinnis to take away his big cannon. And that leaves some room for Steve Duchesne to keep moving in and out behind people. Terrific play. And the timing is everything. When Duchesne moves, the time has to be right because he's got to hit the seam at a perfect time to get the pass. Here it is from the half boards, and there goes Duchesne now. perfect through the seam. He arrived at the opening at the other end of the seam perfectly and put it right upstairs. Well done. You got to play with your head on a swivel when you're killing against the St. Louis Blues, because all of their defensemen will do that.
And a 2-on-1 right there with Holder and Shanahan, who did not convert. Back to full strength now with the power play over. Johnson got knocked down. Puck cleared up through center by Ball. Turned back the other way. A 2-1 Blues lead. Rip shot save. Loose in front. 2 saves on Karpov. He was all alone for both of those, and Curtis Joseph came up big twice.
Especially on the second one. He had to recover from that rebound that he left, and he was in perfect position and square to Karpov to make the second save.
Well, you can see why these Mighty Ducks are high on a couple of these young players. Karnback got it back. He got tied up, couldn't get the shot off. Milos Holland will move it out. Mighty Ducks behind again by 1. Holland shoots it in from the blue line. St. Louis picking up a couple of goals on 11 shots. The Ducks have a 1 on 10 shots thus far in the game. We've got 2:50 left to go here in the first period. Paul Correa to LeBeau. LeBeau chasing down in the corner. Guy Carbonneau batted it in behind the net. Flipped up on the near side. Blues trying to clear and will. Milos Holland could not hold it in. Holland has to come back to get it. Blues changing it up behind the play. Now McGinnis teamed up with Jeff Norton. Norton starts it up. Good pass in the middle to Hull. His shot save made by Guy Hebert, who hangs on long enough to get the whistle. The 2-1 lead. That's Steve Duchesne, who got his 5th goal of the season at 16:04. The assist to Esa Tikkanen and Karamnov in and then out. It's 2-1 Blues.
Hey, hockey fans. There's a new official in the NHL. One that's making a big hit. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, the official beer sponsors of the NHL. Goes down easy and icy smooth. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light. An official you'll like.
Some just settle for being part of the pack. And some just gotta be extreme. Now the reigning Super Sport champion takes to the streets as the 1995 Yamaha YZF 600R with all the edge of a winner. Just ask Jamie James. That is, if you can catch him.
Last goal by Duchesne for the Blues came 3 seconds after the power play had ended, so both of their goals tonight are even strength goals, and that is the way they have been getting it done this season. David Carver dumped it out to Bobby Corkum, who got the stick ripped out of his hands. Murray Barron back up for Brendan Shanahan. Shanahan wide side for Hull. He dumps it in. Glenn Anderson charging. Guy Hebert sees just in time. There's no whistle. Had to get rid of it. Anderson went around the net, so there was no other St. Louis Blue out there, and now it's cleared up over the glass. 2-3 versus St. Louis lifetime for Guy Hebert.
He's got flaps on the bottom of his pads like a lot of goalies, and he picked it up from Curtis Joseph when he was playing in St. Louis. I don't know if you can see him from there. There they are, little plastic flaps. And he said, you know what? If they save 1 goal while I'm here in Anaheim for however many years, they're worth having there. And you can see that without those flaps, the puck would just slide right under, and he picked that up from Curtis Joseph. They were really good friends. He said, I'm going to enjoy looking down at the other end and dueling with my pal tonight. They're still real close friends.
And he'll enjoy it even more if they win. Cleared back out through center. The Mighty Ducks, Joe Sacco. Sacco leaves it for Bobby Corkum. Off the blocker. Save made, Curtis Joseph. This is the line that has struggled this year. Sacco, Corkum, and Bolt. They had 60 goals last year. They have 6 now. It's a line with 3 of the 9 I mentioned before who had career high seasons in points. Set in by Bobby Dawlas. Glenn Anderson goes back to get it. Anderson's got the adrenaline firing tonight. Intercepted far side Peter Doris. Doris pinned up by Duchesne. Puck came free. Blues just dumped that one out to center. They were trying to complete a line change there. Tipped away along the blue line of the Mighty Ducks. Holland dropped it away to center. Karpov working on this line, comes back to pick up the puck with this Tikkanen all over him. Tikkanen deflected it away. Duchesne waiting to get it. Duchesne sends it in. Peter Doris in a battle with Karamnov there, just wouldn't let go of him. Poke checked away at center by Karamnov. 1 minute left to go in this first period. We'll take you back to the studios, and Steve Levy, Mike Milbury will bring you up to date on all of the other National Hockey League action that went on today and is going on tonight. Asa Tikkanen drops it. Karamnov moving in. They crisscross. Back to the point near side. Norton save made right off Hubert's pads. Loose puck. Nice strip of the puck by Johnson. Craig Johnson along the boards. Got pinned up by Karpov. Down they go. Batted behind the net. Asa Tikkanen. Tikkanen looking. Has Huck back there with Karamnov standing. Now McGinnis can't hold it in. 20 seconds remaining in this first period. The Blues leading it by a score of 2-1. Johnson sent it into the middle at Norton cutting. They could not do anything with it. And back out the center. Sean Van Allen, the power play goal for the Ducks from Holden and Correa. Anderson from Miller, his fifth, and Duchesne from Tikkanen and Karamnov, the 2 goals for the Blues in this first period, where the shots end up Blues 14 and the Ducks 11. And our Dodge intermission report coming up. We'll take a look at all kinds of stories that are going on, including these. The Bruins and Devils game that is taking place tonight. Craig Janney will talk about his former coach. And Pat LaFontaine is back, but their goaltender is missing with all that. Steve Levy.
Gary, thanks. And he's right. There's plenty to do coming up in the Dodge intermission. 2-1. The Blues leading the Mighty Ducks after 1. St. Louis has to be very happy to go into the locker room with a 1-goal lead.
Well, they haven't won in a couple on the road, but you can be sure that after a Keenan-Shanahan controversy, as there was this week, that the Blues would come ready to play. Say what you will about Mike Keenan, but somehow he gets under their skin and he gets the best out of them.
All right. Score 2-1. St. Louis leading Anaheim after 20 minutes of hockey. We'll come back. Second period action coming up shortly. Also, scores and highlights coming up on the new Dodge intermission report, including a look at Buffalo playing at home this afternoon, and Pat LaFontaine in action. Not playing every day, as you know, every other game right now. And LaFontaine would be stoned against a former teammate, Darren Pupa. Highlights from the Aud when we come back.
Some people can't afford to worry about the fuel in their tank. And when it comes to consistency and quality, their demands are among the toughest in the world. That's why most major domestic and international airlines depend on Citgo. And with more than 13,000 locations across America, you can depend on Citgo too. Citgo, the sign of quality.
Hi, I'm Cam Neely. Welcome to my workout. Let's start with a little scrimmage. Oh, come on. 1 and 2. Keep those elbows down. Remember to breathe. Now you want to get yourself right in front of the net. You know you're doing it correctly if you feel it right back in here. Let's head to the gym. Move those legs. Come on. Pump it. Pump it. In here. Stay with me. Breathe. Back to the ice. Now for a really good workout, try playing against a future Hall of Famer like Ray Bourque. If you don't have a Ray Bourque, just use whatever you have around the house.
Why do I think the Whopper just beat the Wendy single in a taste test? In my opinion, it's because the Whopper is round and the Wendy single is square. Get it? Square burgers, pointy corners. Of course, most people would tell you they prefer the Whopper because it's flame-broiled over open flames, not fried like the Wendy single. But what gets me are those pointy corners hanging out of a round bun. Where do you put the condiments? These are big problems.
The burger that beat Wendy's single, the Whopper value meal for $2.99 at Burger King.
Walter Payton puts it on pasta. Payne Stewart, blackened salmon. Dan Marino, wings. So what do you put it on?
Yow!
Tabasco.
Tonight's first intermission report is presented by Dodge. The more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge.
Welcome back, everyone. Steve Levy, Mike Milbury on the new Dodge Intermission Report. 2-1 St. Louis leading Anaheim after one period of play. Other games, it is inherent. One of the inherent things of that Bruins-Devils rivalry, and that is having Cam and Claude get together, Neely and Lemieux. The two had a fierce battle last time they got together. While it looked like Neely got the better of it, actually Lemieux got the better of it, and that's because Neely was kicked out of the game. Highlights of today's action for you from the Meadowlands that are East Rutherford, New Jersey. Blaine Locker defending the Boston goal. Locker good early. The stop on Neil Broughton there. Bruins score first. Adam Oates squirts free with the puck. And he finds Mats Naslund, who splits the defense and beats Chris Terrarius, fourth of the year. That made it 1-0 Boston. Jersey ties it up. On a basketball day, perfect for give and go. Riche Carpenter Riche, his 14th of the year. That's where we stand, Mike, in a 1-1 tie as they're after one.
New Jersey has no confidence offensively. They're playing the Bruins as if the Bruins were an offensive powerhouse. They got to start going after the Bruins, forecheck a little bit more. They're better than what they're playing right now.
All right, their late second period now in Ottawa. The Senators are hosting the Penguins. They've actually gone to the break with Pittsburgh leading by a score of 3-2. Jaromir Jagr has a pair in this one. Also should tell you, this is Kevin Stevens' first game back. It was 3-0 Pittsburgh, so the Senators have made it close with a pair. The Lightning of the Sabres. Pat LaFontaine in action this afternoon. In the first period, LaFontaine, good scoring chance. Shows some speed. Breaks him, but Darren Poop with a left pad to make the stop. Second period tied at 1. Denny Savard can still 360 with the best of them. Alexander Silamanov with the score. Rough stuff, Mike.
And this is a world-class elbow right there. Rob Rader and Rico Ciccone, that is tough.
Yeah, but he kept his uniform on this time. The Selivanov goal, again, got it right that time. Another power play goal for him, his second of the day. And the Lightning go on to score a 6-1 victory in Buffalo.
Every time you think the Tampa Bay Lightning, the wheels are going to fall off, all of a sudden, man, they come up with a big win. That's huge for them on the road in Buffalo.
Dominik Hasek, we should tell you, is expected to be out until next weekend with a shoulder injury. In the same game that Hasek was injured on Thursday night, Pat LaFontaine made his long-awaited return.
3-on-1. Again in front of the shot. Right on the goal line. It's goal! Fontaine gets back in the lineup and puts Buffalo in the lead 2-1.
So I guess Pat LaFontaine is back in the lineup. LaFontaine did not play in the overtime loss against Ottawa yesterday. Simply, they don't feel he's ready to play every single day. Tricky position, because when he's there, you got to take advantage. We showed the highlight from the Thursday night game. He was the first star. Buffalo scored 6 goals, which is an explosion for them, but then he's not there yesterday for them.
Well, clearly they want him back on the lineup. The offense is much better with him. But for Coach John Muckler, there's a lot of difficulty here. Now, all of a sudden, his lines are messed up. His power play is all screwed up. And they don't even know what kind of style of play they want to go from game to game. LaFontaine means an awful lot to this hockey club. But for John Muckler, he can live with this headache. When LaFontaine is in the lineup, as he was last year, the Sabres look like this. This is not an indication of LaFontaine's worth. It just means that the Sabres can successfully adjust, and they did with John Muckler's defensive scheme.
We've still got more scores and highlights for you. LaFontaine was pointless in the action today. Buffalo only got 1 goal. The Blackhawks are in action this afternoon, playing very well on the road. See if they can keep that up in Winnipeg. Highlights and scores of that one coming up this week for you on ESPN2. Always a good time when the Devils and Rangers get together. Wednesday night, 7:30 Eastern on the Deuce.
If we violate the laws of physics, will we be punished? Well, we did. We gave Stratus a new type of tire that offers the tread life and enhanced fuel economy of a tire engineered for efficiency, yet sticks to the road like a tire engineered for performance. A clear violation of physical law. Thus far, there have been no legal repercussions. New Dodge Stratus. It's full of answers.
Let's get out of here! Why? The noise! Okay! Hey, man! I got you light ice! Go!
Miller Light Ice, for the taste that goes all out when you're out.
This is a lot better! Yeah! Much louder!
Miller Light Ice. The night is young.
Rule number 52. Face off. Rule number 25. To play the game, use a puck. The Devils take on the Rangers Wednesday. The NHL rules on ESPN2.
Welcome back, everyone. The new Dodge Intermission Report rolls on. The Blackhawks and Jets this afternoon in Winnipeg. Chris Chelios in Chicago in a rare 1-3-1 slump. Second period, 1-0 Hawks. Chelios the steal, fakes the slapper, and walks in and beats Tim Cheveldae. Short-handed goal, Chicago up 2-0. Joe Murphy then, his turn to beat Cheveldae. Puck beat the net going off the moorings there. Blackhawks up 3-1. Murphy's 13th of the year. That goal big because Daryl Shannon's shot. Igor Korolev taps in the rebound, his second of the game. The Jets down 3-2 under a minute left. Keith Tkachuk, a chance to redeem himself. Of Belfour stops that one, and the Eagle comes up with 36 saves. Chicago wins again on the road by a score of 3-2. The Jets now winless in their last 4. San Jose and Calgary. Wade Flaherty in goal for the Sharks. First period, San Jose on the power play. Ilya Biakin, the point shot after the fake is stopped by Trevor Kidd. There's Jeff Friesen, the youngest player in the NHL, to put on the rebound, his 4th of the year. 1-0 in favor of San Jose. Flaherty preserves the slip lead. Here making the save on the Sheldon Kennedy breakaway bid. And your score after the first intermission, San Jose leading Calgary by a score of 1-0. San Jose had a league-low 7 power play goals coming in. And, of course, they get the power play goal in this one. And speaking of San Jose, Craig Janney, now a member of those very same Sharks, known as a finesse player, not a physical player. This week, he had some interesting comments on his former coach, Mike Keenan.
Keenan kind of strangled me for 2 months. Didn't play me at all, didn't give me a reason why, and I was just happy to come to a place where they were happy to have me and where I can contribute, hopefully, to wins every night.
You know, I was expecting a little more bang for the buck, a little more inflammatory remarks, and actually nothing like that from Janney.
Well, he's just got to get this past him. You know, this is a 100-point score. He's taken a beating over the last 10 days or so, but, you know, he's a darn good player, and the Sharks can't score a lot of goals. They can use this guy. Right now, he's just, get rid of this thing. Let me back to the ice, and I can get rid of Mike Keenan for the rest of my life.
Janney's played 3 games with the Sharks, has just 1 assist. He is a -2. Next time we get together, National Hockey Night. We'll see you next Sunday night. From the tank in San Jose, the Sharks host the Los Angeles Kings, 8 Eastern, next Sunday night on ESPN.
Light ice. The night is young.
About 65 miles south of the nearest stoplight, and 2 miles up in the Rocky Mountain sky, you'll find skier's heaven, also known as Telluride Ski Mountain, where the skiing's perfect and the views are even better. And whether you're going to extremes or just going for a lesson, don't go without your Visa card, because at Telluride Ski Mountain, they'll let you take the plunge, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
If you're driving with worn shocks or struts, it could affect your ability to make sudden stops. At times like this, even a small distance can make a big difference. With worn-out shocks, your tires could lose contact with the road. But with new Monroe shocks, your tires hold the road, providing extra control, which could improve your braking. Make the road a safer place with Monroe. Get Monroe Gasmatic Plus and Gas Magnum Plus shocks and struts at a retailer near you.
There's a new Dodge Neon starting to show up out there. And lurking under its hood is a 150 peak horsepower surprise. Look for details in the fast lane. Say hello to the other Dodge Neon, the Sport Coupe. Get up to $1,200 off Dodge Neon during the Dodge National Best Buy sale.
The NIT on ESPN. Catch some of the best young college basketball players in postseason action. The NIT continues tomorrow at 7:30. Nothing like college basketball on ESPN.
New Dodge Intermission Report rolls on. You know, stop complaining you haven't seen the West Coast clubs enough. You'll get a fill Thursday night, 10:30 Eastern on the Deuce. The Mighty Ducks and the Sharks from San Jose. And then more from the West. Saturday night in Vancouver. The Canucks will play host to the Red Wings. Second period action from Anaheim up next.
Is this Kid O'Neill for real? Or is it a different game he plays? Find out for yourself in this exclusive new video, Shaquille O'Neal. Larger life is free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Your free video takes you back in time and behind the scenes with the young superstar. Can he have his fun and still be the best? Go for a spin with Shaq and find the answers. Free from SI. Call now and you'll also get an authentic Shaq basketball, the ultimate playground ball. Plus, get 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now and get your video and Shaq ball both free from SI. There's only one Shaq, and there's nothing in the world like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Friday night at 8:30 Eastern, Bobby Ches is back. He faces heavyweight Tim Tomaszek. Top Rank Boxing on ESPN.
ESPN's coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Miller Lite Ice. The night is young. By Dodge. The more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge. And by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and Al Morganti back here at the pond at Anaheim, where the St. Louis Blues, looking for their first win in this, their third of 5 games on the road, have a 2-1 lead at the end of the first period of play. And we heard from some of the big names during the first period, and he was one of them.
Well, he got enough ice time. He played just about half of the first period, 9 minutes and 45 seconds worth, 7 shifts, and he only got 1 shot on goal. The fact remains that Brett Hull now is a passer as opposed to the guy that receives a lot of passes, because he is a center. In the offensive zone, there were only 5 passes to Brett Hull. He received 3 of them, got 1 shot on goal. He actually had 3 scoring chances, even though 1 shot was on goal. He had a couple that went wide. You know that Brett Hull needs a setup guy in a power play. This was a power play. Glenn Anderson lofted one to him. He was able to get the shot away. That was 1 shot, but by and large, Brett Hull has become a passer on their power play more than a trigger man, and that is why the St. Louis Blues need a quality setup guy.
And he just won the faceoff starting it out, so now he's won 5 of 9 faceoffs, right, for Brett Hull in this game, as he will stay out there along with Brendan Shanahan on the line with him. The St. Louis Blues in their new road jerseys with the blue and red and yellow colors, and socks that they aren't real happy with, so they've got 2 new brands of socks coming in. Shot by Murray Barron, and the save made by Guy Hebert.
You know, Gary, you mentioned in the first period about Brett Hull and the face-offs and laughing at it. Take a quick look at St. Louis's new unis. We're talking about Brett Hull. But Brett Hull might laugh a lot and joke about his face-off numbers, but beneath that laughing exterior is a guy that wants to compete and win every face-off. He just, I think sometimes his nerves manifest themselves in kind of in a laughing way. Watch Hull passing. I mean, he is just about as good a passer as he is a shooter. 2 Ducks came to him in the first period on this power play. Perfect pass to Kevin Miller.
That's his job at center, and it is a new role for him. How long he'll be there remains to be seen. No question. Mike Keenan told us before the game the Blues are on the market for a number 1 center. He thinks they've got to have that. He doesn't think Hull's going to be it. Correa's shot. Did he rip that baby in? Paul Correa picked up an assist on the Mighty Ducks goal in the first period, has extended his streak now, scoring streak to 6 games. Career high, of course, for the rookie this season out of the University of Maine. University of Maine Black Bears lost to Providence in the Hockey East playoffs, and Paul Correa is going to have his coach's car washed for a month. He's going to pay for it. That was the bet. Deflected to Sean Van Allen. LeBeau clears it out to Correa. Correa just slipped. Puck still sitting there. This ice has been voted by virtually all the NHL players as the worst in the league. Paul Coffey said the other night, I wouldn't let a 2-year-old skate on this. Sean Van Allen moves in. Van Allen, and it rolled wide. Picked up and sent around the boards by Jeff Norton. Good play by Norton. So when you see players slip and fall and the puck do a little bit of bouncing, that may be one of the reasons why. Here's the break down the middle. Doris, and he missed it wide. Peter Doris with a chance to tie. The backhander, though, ended up not on net. Bill Holder of the Blues able to clear it out. Milos Holland comes back to get it. He and Ferner out there defensively. Valery Karpov, 23-year-old, played on the Russian Olympic team. And that'll be deflected off the Mighty Ducks bench for the whistle. The socks are the problem for the St. Louis Blues uniforms. The players have just said, you got to do something about this. The management agrees.
What's the matter with those?
Well, you were dissing them pretty good tonight.
I was. I just think they need a little more color in all that red part. So do the players, and so do the Blues, for that matter, their management. So having a little fun with you folks until you get your new socks, and then we're going to clap like crazy.
So they got a couple of new sets coming in. They're going to try out and see what they look like. Poked away to center. Milos Holland going back to get it. Holland, 5-year in the Czech Elite League. Can't clear the zone. Holder held it in over to Adam Creighton. Creighton would like to find that scoring touch again. He hasn't had a goal in 9 games after he had 4 goals in the first 3 this year. Here's Karpov. His wrister blocked wide by Bill Holder. Does Bill Holder ever leave the ice for the Blues? He is seeing a ton of ice time. He did on Thursday against LA, and he is tonight.
It's just that he's always back on those rushes.
Right.
All the others up. Look at the other defensemen. They're always up ice.
A defenseman's defenseman, right? Or something like that.
Well, St. Louis needs him. I mean, there's no question about it. While St. Louis has a lot of mobility and great talent on their blue line, they don't have guys that will make you pay a price in the trenches in front. And I think if they were going to trade for a center, they might trade one of their defensemen, because that's where they have depth. Guys like Steve Duchesne and Al McInnes, they want to keep the cream of the crop. But that's one of the problems, Gary, for St. Louis. When you talk about the Blues needing a center, they don't have the depth that other teams want to trade for. They're an old team. Mike Keenan has brought in a lot of guys. I mean, Greg Gilbert, Esatikainen, players. People would take Esatikainen, but Mike Keenan needs him as one of his MVPs. So they're not real deep. It's going to be very, very hard, I think, for Mike Keenan to get a quality center without jeopardizing and weakening his team.
Giving up more than
exactly.
Because the rest of the league, too, is looking for centermen.
Sure.
I mean, there aren't very many teams who aren't looking for centers. Here's Duchesne. Duchesne missed it. Didn't get it on net. Murray Barron able to hold it in momentarily at least. Intercepted, and a whistle. Is that what apparently came? No, a holding call coming up. A holding call, power play for the Blues when we come back.
It could only come from here. Canada, the home of ice. Molson Ice. Ice brewed to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice. From the land where ice was born.
Before you ask what's under the hood, look in the trunk. Before you sit behind the wheel, climb in back. Before you take a new Avenger out and open it up, open it up.
Garnback picked up that holding call away from the puck at 3:07. St. Louis will get their second power play of the game. They're 0 for 1 on the power play and have had 2 shots on their first power play chance. Blues are 4 for 10 against Anaheim this year in the power play. The Blues won the first 2 games that these teams have played. They won 7-2 and 6-3 in games that were played at the Kiel Center in St. Louis.
Brendan Shanahan is going to take the draw on this one instead of Brett Hall. Hall's over on the boards.
Shanahan has been a good draw man throughout his days. He did not win that one. Bobby Corkum did. However, Steve Duchesne holds it in. Power play here for the St. Louis Blues. Blues power play opportunity. We have 3.5 minutes into the second period. McInnes stepped up. Couldn't be cleared out. Shanahan was back helping to cover at the blue line with McInnes up front. Here's McInnes. Al McInnes still has that great cannon shot. Duchesne's all alone. All alone. Shot save made. He bare where is it? It's loose. Score! Brendan Shanahan found the loose puck. Power play goal for the Blues, who lead 3-1.
What a terrific, terrific play by Brendan Shanahan. that showed even though he's a power forward, he's got a fine touch. The puck was right in front of Guy Hebert, and he didn't know where it was, and Shanahan came in like a surgeon and just kind of plucked it out and snapped it home. The big problem for Anaheim on this play, number 19 in white, he has no stick. That's Bobby Cork. If you see him standing there, he can't get a piece of Steve Duchesne's shot. Right through to Guy Hebert, didn't know where it was. Oh, nice play. Shanahan moved it to the side and then snapped it home from a sharp angle. Right now, Hebert does not know where it is. Shanahan does.
Shanahan's got 2 power play goals on the year. That one comes at .336, his 8th goal overall. And the Blues take a 3-1 lead, 1 for 2 for St. Louis now on the power play. They have scored 5 of them now against Anaheim in 3 games. Good hard hit put onto the far side on Milos Holan. Separate the bodies over there as the puck was sent in offside. If you're going to earn your way out of a doghouse and you're a forward, it doesn't hurt when you put the puck in the net.
Isn't that the truth? He played just about a third of the first period, a little more than that. You know, in the last 5 years, there are only 3 left wingers with more goals than this guy. Luke Robitaille, Kevin Stevens, and Dave Andreychuk. Some pretty exclusive company. He's in the top 4 left wing scorers in the last 5 years.
Brett Hull is number 1 on the other side on a wing. Right wingers over the last 5 years. That's the kind of explosiveness this team has. They are offside.
The thing about Brendan Shanahan that has improved so much over the years, Gary, he always had the potential to be a power forward, but it's the plays like this, having softer hands, being able to manipulate the puck like this. I mean, that's a goal scorer's goal. He had to pull it to the side and then tee it up because he was running out of angle.
I think Al Morganti today made a great point about Brendan Shanahan and Mike Keenan, and I love Brendan. Brendan is a kid in the best sense of the word. Brendan loves life. Nothing is very serious for Brendan Shanahan. I don't mean he doesn't play hard, but Brendan can walk away from a game, it's over, and he goes home. In front, backhand, Miller tried, couldn't, got knocked down. Mark Berner decked him, shot wide on the rebound. And Mike Keenan is the opposite. He is such, not that he doesn't have a sense of humor, but he is such a serious person, especially when it comes to this game, that I think Brendan kind of drives him nuts a little bit. Brendan can smile so much.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Holly smiles a lot, and it doesn't seem to drive him crazy.
Yeah, but
I still think that the thing with Brendan Shanahan is part message. Yeah. Mike does not criticize players in the paper without wanting to get a desired result.
Yep, I agree with that. I think one of the desired results is to get him to be more serious about the game. Maybe. Cleared back in by Miller of the Blues. Push loose along the boards. Back to get it. Berner, Olin, John Van Allen finally cleared it out. Knocked down by Murray Barron. The Ducks want to change it up. The Blues lead at 3-1. Run back in Esa Tikkanen. Save made by Guy Hebert. Rebound finally picked up. Loose puck Steve Ruchin. Ruchin comes the other way. Ruchin moving it in for the Ducks. He got level from behind by Karamnov. Save made by Curtis Joseph as the puck rebounded off the near side to Karpov. Dropped it there in the corner. Nobody's got control of this thing. Steve Ruchin finally lost it to Barron. Up to Adam Creighton. He couldn't touch it up. And the Ducks holding it in, but not getting chances off this now. Mighty Ducks Steve Ruchin. Ruchin back up along the near side boards. Sends it behind the net. Peter Doris. Doris and Duchesne. Duchesne had the stick in on him. Doris center. Had it blocked behind the net by Duchesne. Wraparound attempt knocked away by Curtis Joseph. And Esa Tikkanen will finally just ice it in order to take the heat off here. He touched up the other end. Shanahan's goal at 3:36. Duchesne and McGinnis had the assists on it. And we'll check in for an assist from Steve Levy.
You got it, Gary. Second period, the Devils and Bruins tied at 1. All of Boston's offense starts with Raymond Borg. The Mets, Naslund, and Cam Neely, bang, it's in the net. 18th form of the year, 11th on the power play. It's 2-1 Boston.
Harry Sinden knows how to structure a team, doesn't he? Well, he's got Adam Oates, Cam Neely, and Ray Bork, and then a bunch of kids who mostly played around the Boston area, who play their hearts out for their families. That's Boston, year after year.
Every year. I mean, I'm part of the group. I mean, we come to the conclusion that the Boston Bruins are simply not going to have it in a given year. The big problem is going to be goaltending this year. No sweat. Blaine Walker comes along.
Maybe the rookie of the year.
That's why I respect the Bruins organization so much. They always find a way to be competitive. Always.
Gary Boldt brought it up the other way. Left it near side for Corkum. Corkum centered. And it's flipped away. Nice play by Jeff Norton on the far side. And ripped out of the zone, chased down by Bobby Dollis. Jeff Norton, good defensive play at the other end. His younger brother John played hockey at Maine and is a production assistant on our National Hockey Night broadcast. Karnback comes back to get it. Karnback to return at center, intercepted and sent the other way by Norton. Rolls in wide. Ducks trying to change up behind the play. Dollis goes back to get it. That's cleared the length of the ice, and a holder will go back for the touch. Gets there first, and it is that icing call. 12:58 left to go. Second period at the Pond in Anaheim, with the Blues leading the Ducks by 2.
There's a place in the Big Apple where New Yorkers rush to be on the cutting edge. It's Jean-Louis David. A touch of Paris right in the middle of Manhattan. So if you're looking for a new you, drop in anytime at any of their locations. You don't need an appointment, just your Visa card. Because when it comes to your hair on Jean-Louis David, American Express just won't cut it. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Red Dog here. Look at them. Making fools of themselves. And for what? A pat on the head and a dog biscuit?
What do you think of that?
Red Dog. You got a mind of your own.
Oh.
Know what I'm saying? Do what's right for you. Hey, buddy, nothing personal.
Red Dog beer. Bold yet smooth, easy to drink.
But I don't jump through hoops for nobody.
New York Rangers defending the Stanley Cup, and the man who coached them to it, Mike Keenan, looking to bring that cup to St. Louis. Behind the bench of a Blues team that's now 14-8-2. They are tied for 7th coming into today's play. The Mighty Ducks are 25th overall in the National Hockey League. Brett Hull chips that one in. Hull continues among the leading scorers, tied for 10th overall and 2nd in goals in the NHL. Batted away by Sean Van Allen. Paul Correa is up front. Correa reaching, got hauled down, and a penalty coming up. The league's leading rookie scorer, Paul Correa, the 20-year-old, got dumped as he reached for the puck at the blue line, and Rob Schick will send Murray Barron on the trip.
The breakaway speed went to work right there. Paul Correa now has 4 shots on goal in this game. He was telling me this morning how he's changed his game. He wants to score more. He has the ability to score more just by tweaking his game. Murray Barron, if he doesn't get a piece of him there, it's adios. Paul Correa is gone. Rookie point leaders in the league. Paul Correa's got 21. Todd Marchand, the Edmonton Oilers, got 18. And Peter Forsberg from Quebec with 18.
And the Rookie of the Year candidates will be those people certainly, and Blaine Locker, the Boston goaltender, who's now 11-5-1. Got the 5th best goals against, and Jim Carey of Washington, 7-1-1, 164 goals against, number 1, and the 2nd best save percentage. I thought it went in, but it ripped the crossbar. It looked like it went through the top of the net.
The net rippled. It doesn't ripple as it goes outside the post from that angle. Dollis is still pointing at Rob Schick, saying that went in, that went in.
I thought it did, and you look, Curtis Joseph just looked under the net to see if there was a hole in it. He just looked as the puck went down the other way. He thought it had gone in.
Well, remember now, a replay official can actually look at that and find it, and when the play stops, can phone down and say, wait a minute, guys, that was a goal. And if it is a goal, let's say St. Louis happens to score here. It won't count.
It won't count. Power play for the Ducks. Shot, save made as it deflected off the stick near side. Dollis holds it in. Sean Van Allen let it go to Paul Correa. The Mighty Ducks on the power play. As Barron's up for tripping at 7:28. Ducks 1 for 2. Shot, save, rebound, loose side of the net. Great save on Sean Van Allen by Curtis Joseph. Mercy, he had him in a one-on-one down low and could not get it up and over. And a whistle. The puck was either hit with a high stick or there's a high sticking call.
Look, there's Bobby Dollis. He's still arguing his case, and I don't know. We're a long way up. But from that angle, I don't know how he could shoot outside of the post and have the net flap like that.
And it flapped.
You bet it did.
Steve Duchesne gets the penalty for high sticking.
Well, super slow. Here's a look at the Dollis shot, the one that's in question. Watch it now coming at us. Top left of the net. Absolutely, right through the net.
Right through the net.
Absolutely. Sure it did. Right there.
Right there. It went through.
Yeah, man.
That was a goal. And they are looking upstairs, and if they have that shot, and they do because they pick up our monitors, that is a goal.
Sure. Well, check it out. I mean, right here in the corner of the net. Check it out. I'll draw it smaller. Right there. Look at the bulge.
Right through it.
Sure. No question.
And Curtis Joseph knew it. As soon as the puck was cleared out of the zone, Cujo turned around to see where the hole was.
It's a great shot. High to the glove side.
That goal should count.
What about the penalty to Duchesne now?
The penalty will stay, but the clock goes back to the time of the goal.
Right.
He got it. He knows he got it.
He deserved it, too.
Bobby Dawlis is going to be credited with a goal. This is the first time that I've done a game where this has happened, where the goal comes at a later time in the game where the clock has been kept running, and they define a shot as a goal. And there was no question about that one.
No. Oh, there's the hole now.
There it is. They're tying it up now.
Now, if Curtis Joseph had had his little sewing kit, he would have closed that thing up before they got there.
It's up on the board. The Mighty Ducks have cut this to a one-goal game.
Here it is, the top left of the goal as we're looking at it. Watch it bulge. And that's what we saw. We're sitting way up to the right of that shot as you're looking at this shot. We're way up to the right. But even from as far as we are, we can see the net bulge.
When the net goes up, you figure something was there to push it.
Right. And I know he doesn't have a hard enough shot that had he shot wide to the right of the post that the wind would have sucked the net out. No way.
So Bobby Dawlis will be credited with a goal. Curtis Joseph turned around and looked to see the hole, and he knew it was there. El Morganti.
I'm not sure what happened with the goal, Judge, but I can tell you that last period and the last goal scored down that end, the light did not go on. The light did not work, and they're now checking it out now whether it works or not. They've had some trouble with this light the last 2 games here at this arena.
Oh, that's right, the Steve Duchesne goal, the one that went in up under the crossbar and then came out. The light never came on.
This will take a minute now because they've got to set the clock. They have to go back. The goal is credited at the time it was actually scored. The clock goes back to where it was at that time. Duchesne's penalty will stay as he's been called for high sticking. Our Bud Ice scoreboard, the Penguins leading the Senators 4-2 in the third. The Bruins continuing to lead. Cam Neely with his 18th in that game over the New Jersey Devils. The Sharks on Friesen's goal. The rookie is 4th, leading the Flames. And we'll keep you posted. Steve Levy, Mike Milbury during our second intermission. We'll have all those updated scores and highlights for you as well.
Gary, you talk about an advantage for the Mighty Ducks by that goal not being counted when it went through. They get it counted now, and the bonus is Steve Duchesne is in the penalty box, so they get the goal and a power play.
Right back to back.
Yeah. We'll give them, wait a minute, we'll give them a B+. Give the linesman a little B+ for the weave there. Right here, B+ for their what is it, seamsterism or something like that.
Knitting, eh?
They're knitting, they're sewing, whatever.
The Deuce continues its coverage of the National Hockey League. Wednesday night, Madison Square Garden, one of the great rivalries of the NHL. The New Jersey Devils take on the New York Rangers, a rematch of that Eastern Conference final last year. And then on Thursday from the San Jose Arena, these Mighty Ducks take on the San Jose Sharks, 2 teams desperate for playoff points. And don't forget, 11:30, Tuesday through Saturday on the Deuce, it's NHL 2 night, where you get all the scores and highlights. Well, delighted to have you with us here at National Hockey Night tonight. Gary Thornville, Clement, and El Morganti, and a very unusual play right there. Bobby Dawlis' 4th goal did come on the power play. Correa and Van Allen get the assists, and it's 8:48 the time of the goal. And there's the man who got it, Bobby Dawlis. Steve Duchesne is in the penalty box for high sticking. And the Mighty Ducks go right back on the power play and a chance to tie this game. So the Blues now leading it by a score of 3-2. St. Louis shorthanded. Milos Holland backs it up on the near side. Paul Correa sent it out to LeBeau. LeBeau wide. Holland starts it up. Sends it in on Curtis Joseph. The bouncing puck. He started after it. Let it go. LeBeau tried to catch Curtis Joseph out of the net. Good play by Shanahan to clear. He had a battle that puck. Dallas takes it back at center. Paul Kariya with an assist in tonight's game at center ice in this power play unit. Lost it as Al McGinnis picks it up. And McGinnis sends it into the zone. Fans thought there should have been a call on that and did not get it. Still a minute 13 remaining on this power play. Kariya leads the Ducks in scoring with 21 points as he's got 10 goals, 11 assists. His plus-minus down to a -9. It had been at a -14 before Ron Wilson says, I got him playing a little more D, and he discovered a wonderful thing. That when he plays more D, he also gets more points. Cleared around. Curtis Joseph to Tikkanen, and he clears the zone.
At this level, you cannot wait for the puck to come to you. Sometimes you have to be part of the process of getting it back, and Paul Kariya wasn't doing that regularly. Now he is.
Scoring more, making his coach happier. Always a good thing. Brought in by Doris. Doris tied up. Just ran it down through the middle. Ramnov tried to clear and could not. Tied up on the far side was Karpov. Cleared around for Ramnov. Not out of the zone, though. Down to 20 seconds in this power play. Looking into the middle for the tip and covered by Curtis Joseph. Karpov was right there, but he couldn't lift it. He just nudged it in on Cujo. Backed up off the boards. David Karpov plays in this power play with Karpov right there. Karpov, Peter Doris, the other forward on this. And the power play is over, so the Ducks do not convert on the power play chance. Karpov sent it in off the stick of Doris. Blues are back at full strength. Wrapped around for Hull. Hull, his drop pass intercepted by Gary Volk. Volk along the boards. Trying to dig it out with Norton. Rolled out the center. Lucian wouldn't let go of it and sent it in. Cujo back there. Leaves it for Al McGinnis. McGinnis starts it up ice for the Blues. Al McGinnis tied up at center, but kept control of the puck, and Hull tipped it in off the point. Chased down behind the net by Mark Ferner. Ferner, Dirk, together on the defensive pairing. Through center. Volk couldn't handle that one, and Bill Holder comes back to get it. Holder back in his own zone, looking for some help, and the Blues changing behind. Now the Ducks take the opportunity to get some new skates up. Sacco's pass was knocked down at center. Bobby Corkum over to hold it in. Could not. St. Louis will start it out near side. On the attack, Doug Lidster. Lidster, a former New York Ranger. Over to Shanahan. Shanahan looking for Hull, cutting. Hull had it, but he was tied up. He had two Ducks all over him. Kariya at center. Kariya moves it in. Kariya between the legs, and Holder knocked him down. And it'll be chased back. Oleg Teodorsky. Teodorsky up for Dirk. Could not connect at centers. Lidster knocked it away. Knocked down again by Lidster. Blues clear the zone in time. Chassé brings it in. Chassé had it tipped away. Teodorsky, the centering pass. Right back up to Duchesne. His shot deflected wide. That went off the back of a skate in front of the net. Van Allen's up ice with Kariya. Kariya moves it in. Over the middle, the ball got tied up. Murray Barron. Barron sweeps it up the boards, but not out. Tony Twist is there. Van Allen at the blue line, able to hold it in for the Mighty Ducks. Big jam up with Barron over there, and Guy Carbonneau comes in to get it.
A good play by Barron. He locked up two Ducks at once over the side, LeBeau and Tverdovsky.
Steve Duchesne flips it in. 8:11 left to go in the second period. The Blues lead has been cut to 1, 3-2. Mighty Ducks on the attack again. At center, Peter Doris leaves it. Milos Holland tried to come across the line and could not. Back comes Creighton. Adam Creighton fakes it once, takes it, save made Guy Hebert. As Creighton put that one right up to the midsection. Al McGinnis back to get it. Shots are 19-17 in favor of the Blues. Mentioned earlier, the Blues have given up over 35 shots a game. That's the second most in the league. Chased down, Bobby Dallas will go back to get it for the Mighty Ducks. Dallas with Tikkanen hooking at him from behind. Peter Doris clears it out near side for Karpov. Karpov, McGinnis gives him a shot in the back. Still has the puck, then gets hit by Miller. Cujo behind his own net. Leaves it there for Jeff Norton. Norton around with the Mighty Ducks changing it. Through the middle, trying to catch the Ducks coming off the bench here. Brought in by McGinnis, sent it into the middle. Rolled in, but Bobby Corkum was there to cut it off. Corkum starts it up. Corkum to the blue line. He takes the hook. Puck rolls to the corner. Carnback and McGinnis collide. Set behind of the net. They're trying to set up in front. Shot. Save made. Curtis Joseph. Puck in. Lights on. Rob Schick has it indicated. The light came on. Whether it will be a goal remains in question. Rob Schick did not point that it was a goal.
I don't know if he had a chance to see it, because while the puck was entering the net, so were about 3 other guys. And there were 2 Ducks in front of the St. Louis Blues defenseman. Billy Holder was back there, and everybody just crashed in after the puck.
Looks like Rob Schick has said it is not a goal. They will look at it upstairs. The Blues leading 3-2.
Is this Kid O'Neill for real? Or is it a different game he plays? Find out for yourself in this exclusive new video, Shaquille O'Neal. Larger life is free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Your free video takes you back in time and behind the scenes with the young superstar. Can he have his fun and still be the best? Go for a spin with Shaq and find the answers. Free from SI. Call now and you'll also get an authentic Shaq basketball, the ultimate playground ball. Plus, get 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now and get your video and Shaq ball both free from SI. There's only one Shaq, and there's nothing in the world like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Maybe passing in front of you in this game. We're going to show you a look at this non-goal. The play started over in the corner, and it was dumped out in front by Joe Sacco. Then there was a big pileup. Now watch the light. Watch when the light comes on. Now, all right, and we'll stop it. Well, keep it going a little bit away. Stop right there. Now we saw the light that was on. There is the puck. All right, the puck hasn't gone in the net yet, but we pointed out that the light has been on now for about 1.5 seconds. Now something is wrong there. Another look at it. We pan off the light, but you can see at the bottom right of the goal crease. Just keep watching the right-hand part of the blue goal crease. Right there. There's the puck.
Rob Schick immediately went over and had them make the announcement that the puck did not cross the line, that the whistle had blown. I don't think it ever crossed the line anyway.
No.
So it remains a 3-2 lead.
Maybe somebody has to explain to that nice gentleman behind the net that the light goes on when the puck goes in, and it doesn't go on when the puck stays out.
It's had a tough night down at that end. I mean, it's just, you know, it's one of those nights. First the light wouldn't work, then it goes on when it doesn't go in. The jam up in the corner. I mean, we've all had nights like that. Hardback trying to dig it out. Murray Barron along there. When you're in the red light district, there are bad nights. The jam up, nobody's moving the puck here. Murray Barron. There's no whistle either. Rob Schick standing there, hollering at him to play the puck. Hardback finally did and dug it out. Bobby Corkum lost it back, gets it. Corkum dropped it in the middle. Hardback couldn't get it. Good play by Hull. Hull on the check right there, tied him up. Center shot. Corkum never got it off and lost his stick as it was broken. He got slashed over the stick, and it split the stick right in two. Back comes the St. Louis Blues. House in the middle. Shanahan was waiting. Deflected near side, and a penalty coming up on the Ducks. This game is all over the place. The Blues lead at 3-2, and they are going to get a power play. They're out shooting the Ducks 19-18. Our Visa storyline on National Hockey Night from the Pond. Glenn Anderson, his 5th goal of the season on a breakaway. Sean Van Allen now has 10 points in the last 6 games, picking up a goal in this one. And Brendan Shanahan with his 8th goal of the year on the power play.
Well, our Visa replay, since this has been a night of bizarre things, how about one more bizarre thing? Linesman Mark Wheeler going right into the bench, thanks to a little nudge from number 20, Steve Ruchin. Come on, Mark. Getting some help back onto the ice.
Careful in this game if you're out there. It's all over the place. So the penalty allows the St. Louis Blues to go on the power play with Bobby Corkum out on the hold at 14:09. Corkum has struggled scoring this season. 3 goals, 5 assists on the year. St. Louis 1 for 2 on the power play. They have had 4 shots on their previous power play chances. They've got a chance to put that lead back up to 2. Sean Van Allen out there in the penalty killing unit while Kevin Miller moves in to take the face-off against Van Allen. Van Allen won it back to Al McGinnis. Blues with the advantage. 5-on-4. That's a ticket. McGinnis. Shot deflected in front, did not end up on net. They had set up in front Vitaly Karamnov that time on this power play unit. Intended for Duchesne, goes wide. McGinnis has got to give chase. McGinnis racing with Gary Ball. Just got there ahead of him. Duchesne picks it up over to McGinnis.
One of the things the Ducks wanted to do was to take McGinnis's cannon away from him on the power plays. They've done that pretty well, but they've let down in other areas. The Duchesne goal with him sneaking in behind.
Short-handed Peter Doris. Doris trying to drop it off. Sends it in as the Ducks will change up on their penalty-killing unit. St. Louis 5 for 11 against the Anaheim Mighty Ducks on the power play this year in 3 games. Getting another chance here right off Doris's leg. Blues get a break on that one. Duchesne over to McGinnis. A minute left on the power play. McGinnis' shot was blocked. 2-on-2 short-handed. Steve Rushin blocked it. Rushin gets it back, sends it in. Doris and he, though, will head to the bench. And again, the Mighty Ducks changing up on their penalty-killing unit. McGinnis starts it up ice. Good look at a great defenseman and hockey player, Al McGinnis. McGinnis working the point, of course, on a power play as he has for all of his career. Sent out of the zone, length of the ice by David Carpa. Back to get it, Bill Holden. 30 seconds remaining on this Blues power play. Plenty of time for them to run it up. Good job of the Mighty Ducks on this penalty-killing unit so far. Dumping and chasing as Holder sends it to the wide side corner. Hull goes back up top to Lidster to Hull. Hull challenged. Lidster came over to try and hold it in. He has to hang on as Joe Sacco knocked it away. Glenn Anderson out over to Lidster. Power play 5 seconds. Lidster sends it down the boards. Anderson put the hit on. Lidster got the puck. Let's see if Anderson's play works here. Penalty is over. Anderson in front of the net. Penalty coming again on the Ducks as Brett Hull got knocked down. Delayed call. And the St. Louis Blues are going to go right back on the power play as Hull got cross-checked in front of the net. Rob Schick got him.
When does a car feel good? When things are easy to reach. So we built a cabin simulator that varies the location of almost everything the driver uses to drive the car. We move the parts in and out and up and down. It wasn't until everyone was comfortable that we could relax. New Dodge Stratus. It's full of answers.
It could only come from here. Canada. The home of ice. Molson Ice. Ice brewed to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice. From the land where ice was born.
Steve Levy back in our National Hockey Night studios. Highlights from the Sharks and Flames. Say hi to Dodie Wood, the backhander. His second National Hockey League goal made it 2-0. But just minutes later, Joe Nieuwendyk, watching behind the net, takes a whack at it, gets it to go, make it 2-1. Gary and Bill.
Steve, thanks very much. Calgary leading the Pacific Division, but a division that is weak compared to the Central with Detroit, Chicago, Toronto, St. Louis, Dallas all in it. Power play here for the St. Louis Blues. Guy Hebert knocked it away. The Blues virtually having 2 consecutive power plays, just a few seconds between the two. This is their 4th of the game. They're 1 for 3 on the power play. Batted out of the air by Hull. Cleared out by Bobby Corkum. Berner's gone on the cross-check at 16:20 for the Ducks. 3:17 left to go here in the second period. McGinnis starts it up. Hull dropped it back to Duchesne, but nowhere near him. And Duchesne will go back to get it. Duchesne will take it behind his own net. Leave the forechecker, Steve Rushin, out in front. 18-19 shots. Blues have the advantage there by 1. Mighty Ducks short-handed. Their penalty-killing unit working hard. Steve Rushin over there got pinned up. Shanahan stepped in and got it. Can't get it by McGinnis. Al McGinnis centering. Deflected wide. Hull was there trying to line it up. Good pass by Shanahan to Duchesne. His shot deflected by Hull over the net. Getting some chances here. McGinnis. Duchesne tried to shoot it through. Couldn't as it was blocked by Rushin. And Steve Rushin will clear it out. Short-handed. The Ducks need a change. Doris dumped it off. Doris will stay out as McGinnis circles around him. McGinnis, a lot of ice time here in these 2 power plays. Almost all of it. McGinnis from Shanahan. Al McGinnis' shot deflected wide of the net. Good play by Karamnoff. McGinnis again. He shot it wide. Bill Holder on the far side. Holder drops it off for Johnson. Johnson for Shanahan. Shanahan. Karamnoff. And Johnson up front. Couldn't get it. 18 seconds left on the power play for the Blues. They both change it up behind the play. Minute 54 left to go here in this second period. Miller. Kevin Miller, the 29-year-old, moves it in for the Blues. Shut it down. Dropped it back. Nobody there. Fortunately for the Blues, Doug Lidsner able to get it. And the power play is over. Blocked by Guy Hebert. And that one goes to the corner. Nilo's holding over to get it. So 1 for 4 now on the power play for St. Louis. And the Ducks kill off 2 in a row. And the Blues continue to lead it by 1. The Blues have not had a shot on their last 2 power play chances. Carnback holds it in. Carnback, nice drop pass, but it rolled in on Curtis Joseph. Had LeBeau cutting through the middle. He reached for it. He was too far ahead of him. Carnback. Carnback the dump. Guy Hebert came over to get it. David Piper off the boards and out. Murray Barron chasing.
And the Anaheim penalty-killing unit has looked really good in this game. Yes, they have given up a goal, but when we talked to Coach Ron Wilson this morning, we said, why are you such a poorer team defensively this year than last year? He said one thing, penalty killing, but it's coming around now.
It looked good, holding St. Louis 1-4. Take a look at our league leaderboard, brought to you by Miller Lite. You see Jaromir Jagr among the goal leaders. These are updated with today's games. Jagr with 22, Brett Hull and Cam Neely now with 18, Theo Fleury and Owen Nolan at 17. Our Miller Lite Ice board.
And Brett Hull in this last power play fought for position in front and then got a piece of the shot from the blue line. I don't think that was Al McInnes' shot, but boy, McInnes really shows you something every time he's got the puck on the blue line. Al doesn't just blast all the time. When there's a crowd in front, he'll look for somebody. He'll take a little bit off the shot to make it a little easier to deflect. I mean, he's truly a great power play point man, McInnes is.
He is 39th all-time in assists and 66th in league history in points for Al McInnes. And one of the really great quarterbacks in the game's history on the power play. Quick pass down the middle. Shot just deflected wide. Joseph may have gotten a piece of that. Joe Sacco was set up and went in alone. May have been wide. Not sure. Curtis Joseph saw it. Left behind the net on that one to McInnes. McInnes leaves it up for Brett Hull. Hull couldn't reach that one. Bobby Corkum sent it back in. Al McInnes again. McInnes played virtually 4 minutes of that power play. Took a shift off and now is back out on the ice. Robert Dirk of the Mighty Ducks sends it in, and that's going to do it here in this second period. Shots are even at 20. Brendan Shanahan, one of the Blues who's picked up a goal. And that's why the Blues are on top right now at 3-2 over the Ducks and Guy Hebert with Curtis Joseph looking up for St. Louis.
He has only had 2 shots on goal, but one of them sure counted. The big one in this period for St. Louis, who still have the 1-goal lead.
We've got one more left to go on National Hockey Night from the pond at Anaheim. Lots of other NHL action. Steve Levy.
Gary, thanks very much. So 3-2, St. Louis, the lead over Anaheim after now 2 periods of play. So the Blues had a 1-goal lead after 1, still have that 1-goal lead after 2.
Anaheim has really stayed right with the Blues, but they can't allow the Blues to get these garbage goals. On a couple of occasions, they left their front of their net unattended, and the Blues have cashed in. They're too good for that. 1-goal lead for the Blues, that's a mountain for the Ducks to climb.
Yeah, they're just not scoring any goals. Blues are winless in their last 3, so they're trying to turn things around. They have the 3-2 lead after 2 periods of play. Coming up in this intermission, we'll look at a much-improved Atlantic Division and also a goaltender who's helping out the Washington Capitals improve their season. Guy by the name of Jim Carey. That's next on National Hockey Night.
It could only come from here. Canada, the home of ice. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest.
3-4-2 thus far, and go to this third period with the Blues on top by a score of 3-2. The Mighty Ducks are going to make the playoffs. One of the things they have going for them, 15 of their last 24 games are going to be played here on home ice. If home ice matters, Anaheim's got a shot at the playoffs.
They have had a tough schedule of late, and they haven't been able to buy goals against some very good teams. This is their 10th game against a tough team tonight against St. Louis. And look at this play with 30 seconds to go in the second period. Joe Sacco, one of those 3 guys that can't buy a goal, maybe we've underestimated how well Curtis Joseph has played in this hockey game, because Anaheim has had 6 odd man rushes. The St. Louis Blues have had 1. That is it. So Curtis Joseph has been a bigger factor than I think we realized.
So here we go to the third period with the shots even at 20 and the St. Louis Blues leading it by a score of 3-2. And the teams will start this at full strength in this third. Neither of these teams has gone into the third period trailing and come away with a win. So the Mighty Ducks will try and do that for the first time this season in this one. Third around the boards, far side on the centering pass by Gary Volk. Volk out there with Corkum and Joe Sacco. Intercepted. Hall. What a great save as it came across the crease. Guy Bear was down on the ice for a full second and a half before Hull shot that, and he still made the save.
The waiting game. And Guy Bear won it. I mean, Brett Hull went by and turned around and was waiting for the opening, and Guy Bear just kept his legs up and finally booted it out. Look at Brett Hull. You know he'll be laughing at this sooner or later. Great play here with Hull. Watch his right leg. You see how he stuck out his right leg to take care of that stick, and he went by. And he was just running out of real estate, so he had to let it go. Give Guy Bear full marks. There's a good play by Hull with the right leg. Take care of the stick by Robert Dirk. Oh, what a neat save.
Guy Bear, who has been doing that for them of late, more so than even at the beginning of the season. This is 17th start, 5th consecutive. And the shutout against Calgary in the last game, and it's been big here. LeBeau. Nobody hit him as he was off balance, put his shoulder into the boards, but he is all right. Al Morganti.
Well, the Ducks are really in this game because of that delayed goal by Bobby Dallas. Now, maybe Bobby Dallas in the locker room was telling to his teammates, hey, guys, have some faith in me. I talked to Rob Schick, the referee, between periods here. He said, Dallas was the only Duck who was whining that was a goal. The referees knew right away it went through the hole in the net, but they had to wait for the stop. And they said of all the Ducks, they thought a crowd would be around him, but just Dallas was whining about it.
Oh, look at that, Curtis Joseph! As the puck ricocheted right to the wide side of the post. Nilo's Holen shot goes wide. Karpov can't clear it out. Sean Van Allen waiting. McGinnis intercepts. That can't be any closer and not be in.
Well, I don't think that was an attempt that I looked down. I was watching Al for a second. When I looked down, I think that was an attempt to dump in that hit the struck in the
came right back out in front. In the middle, shot. Save made. Curtis Joseph on LeBeau. 2 chances for the Ducks to tie this game in the opening minute and a half here. Romnov comes the other way, dropped it, Creighton shot, save, score! Follow-up chance and hard into the boards, and I hope not hurt Karamnov.
Karamnov is up, I believe.
Wow, he went head first into the boards after following up. It is a 4-2 lead for the Blues. And it was Adam Creighton who was down. He collided with Karamnov, but he's the one who ended up going head first in.
Well, this is Curtis Joseph's save. Right between his legs again, but he got enough of it. This was right before the Blues came the other way. Karamnov has excellent speed. He was in full control crossing the blue line. He backed the D off. You see how far in they backed? Because of Karamnov's speed. Creighton took the shot, Karamnov on the rebound, and then one more crossing pattern that wasn't in the plan.
So Karamnov picks up the goal after the Ducks had the first 2 good chances. 2-line pass, Karpov moving it in. And the St. Louis Blues on Karamnov's second goal of the season at 1:46 have taken a 4-2 lead. A big goal as he and Adam Creighton both went hard to the boards.
I'll take it. Adam Creighton did the smart thing. He knew that Karamnov had a full head of steam and was trying to get to the net. So all he did was get a reboundable shot on Guy Bear, and it worked perfectly. Karamnov crashed the net and picked it up.
And a 4-2 lead on the 23rd shot of the St. Louis Blues. They get their 4th goal. Jam up in the corner. Peter Norris can't get it by Lidster. Johnson came over. Now batted over Lidster's head. Bill Holder comes back to get it. St. Louis goals from Anderson, Duchesne, Shanahan, and now this one picked up by Karamnov to give them the 4-2 lead. Anaheim, Sean Van Allen has picked up one of them, and Bobby Dallas the other. got in offside, they say, as Greg Gilbert wound up to take it at the blue line. Duchesne's got a goal and an assist. McGinnis 2 assists for St. Louis. Van Allen 1-1 for the Ducks, and Paul Correa has picked up 2 assists as Paradnov's goal assist to Creighton and McGinnis.
Well, the one thing that Ron Wilson's guys have done a little better in the last few games is they've kept the shots down. Coming into tonight's game, they had the worst shot differential in the NHL, minus 214. They've given up 214 more shots than they've taken. And that adds up to just about 9 shots a game. The average shots it takes to score a goal in the NHL, 9.9 shots. So, you know, you're giving up 9 more shots per game than you really should, and that's why you're giving up 1 extra goal, and that is the biggest problem that the Ducks have had this year.
The teams who are in that situation are all struggling. Chassé behind the net, got tied up, puck loose. Ewan was down on the ice with it. Blues trying to get another one here. Anaheim, Florida, Ottawa, San Jose, and LA are the teams who have the greatest discrepancy in shots taken and shots given. And all of them are fighting for points. Deflected and picked up by Duchesne.
And you know who's leading the league in positive differential?
Who's number 1?
The Boston Bruins. Get this, they are plus 278.
That's amazing. Talk about work. I mean, the Bruins have that reputation as the grinding, working team of the NHL, and always have. And there's no better evidence of that than those numbers. Brendan Shanahan had it battered away. Shanahan goes over to pick it up himself, clears it through Gorkam's legs. Icing call here, touched up by Milos Holden at the other end. They wave it off. Holden will have to play it. They say he could have gone back and got it. Didn't. No, he'll start it off ice. Milos Holden of the Mighty Ducks, who find themselves down by 2 again. Holden banged it off the boards. Al McGinnis stepped up. McGinnis now has 3 assists in this game for the Blues. Holden brought it in, and McGinnis decked it. Picked up by Jeff Norton. Norton working around the boards. Goes by referee Rob Schick to Shanahan. Shanahan, they got a 3-on-2. Glenn Anderson to Hull. Hull and Shanahan on the off shooting side. Couldn't get a stick on it. Al McGinnis cutting in. McGinnis back for Shanahan. Shanahan center. Nobody there. And he goes to center.
You know, I've hardly seen Anaheim trap in this game. Part of the reason is they've forechecked pretty well, but they have been behind in this game. You tend to stray from that real strong defensive position when you're behind, and now that they're behind by 2, I doubt that I'll see any trap at all from here on in.
Well, Correa got that one out through center ice. Wouldn't be controlled. Holder goes back to get it. St. Louis Blues around the boards. That's the ticket and hit by Paul Correa. Correa taking a new battle. Jammed up there. Nobody can get a stick on it. Tevodorski was there, but Adam Creighton's the man who came away with it. Over to Doug Lidster. Lidster starts the red line, and he'll dump it in. St. Louis Blues in the 3rd of 5 games on the road, as they're on the road for 11 days. They've lost 1 and tied 1, looking for their first win on this road trip here tonight. Bill Holder takes it through a screen, deflected wide by Adam Creighton. He did not get a whistle. Rob Schick has made a play, and you like that. Bobby Dallas tried to drop it off and lost it. Creighton centering for Tickenet. Intercepted Van Allen, gets it away to Correa, and Correa will flip it up. Correa is one of 4 rookies on this team who had to buy a $9,000 dinner the other night. As the St. Louis Blues and the Ducks both had their rookie dinners this week.
I figured that out. It works out to $300 per guy.
It's fair.
They had to have some $500 bottles of wine in there.
You've got to have good wine. If you're going to have a special meal, no sense going short.
Hey, a new Pontiac Sunfire. Now, if you ever take your zooming across Easter Island, they probably won't give you one of those big head things. But hey, the rear seats fold down, just in case. Or if you ever take your new Pontiac Sunfire to China, they probably won't let you go tearing around on that big wall they got, which is too bad, because the sport suspension would be great on those curves. Finally, a real set of wheels for around $12,500, the all-new Pontiac Sunfire.
They get no kick being thrown from a plane. 1,000-foot fall doesn't thrill them at all. So tell me, why should it be true that they get a kick out of do? All right, now.
shot from the point, held on to by Guy Hebert. Back here in the pond, Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and Al Morganti. Blues 5-4-1 on the road, leading here. And doing it against a tough goaltender in Guy Hebert.
You know, Gary, I mentioned between periods that this Anaheim team has not had a breather. I mean, Ron Wilson was saying, look at our schedule. The last 10 games, Calgary, Chicago, Dallas, Chicago, St. Louis, Detroit, Vancouver, Calgary, Toronto, and St. Louis. Well, he said, you know, give us an Edmonton in there, or a Winnipeg, or a San Jose, or an LA, somebody that's closer to us at least, but they have not had a break.
Nope, and they've played 500 hockey, so just what you would expect of us. Here's Greg Johnson's shot. Hebert gets the glove on it and hangs on. Another man with a good glove, Steve Levy.
Nice of you to say, Gareth. Thanks. The MCI proof positive play of the night. New Jersey Devils and the Boston Bruins. Stephane Richer through 3 Bruins, including number 77. How often do you see Raymond Bourque beaten, but Locker picks him up? It's 2-2.
Ron Wilson, second season with this Ducks team and just their second year in the National Hockey League. Surprised everybody last year. They won 33 games, finished 21st in the league under his mentorship, and they this season have found the going a bit tougher, and that doesn't surprise anybody, including them. You don't sneak by anybody the second year. Deflected shot, still loose at the bottom of the circle, banged up to the point, not out, and McGinnis fakes that one and just dumped it in behind the net. Guy Hebert off for Sacco. Goes Sacco up out of the zone. St. Louis Blues making sure they're back now with 13:30 left to go in the third. Squeezed in the middle. Sacco got dumped at center ice. Rolled along the boards by Norton, and it's still there. Banged at by Tony Twist, who got it into the zone. Twist doing battle. He and Milos Holden exchanged a couple of backhand shots. Cleared to the near side to Sacco. Sacco, the blue line and in. Poke checked away by McGinnis from behind. The Ducks were changing. They've got people back to pick up the loose puck. Bobby Dallas up. Sacco dumped, had nobody in. Glenn Anderson there for the Blues. Anderson off, the Blues changing it up behind the play. Sacco long shift. Tried to send it in, then headed to the bench. That one deflected off the near side boards. Norton got it out. Sean Van Allen. Brendan Shanahan tapped it ahead. LeBeau comes back to get it. LeBeau bothered by Glenn Anderson, who's lost his stick now. The blow up for Van Allen. The defensive play by Bill Holder, who stepped in and took that one away. Holder drops it off. Norton gets it out. Glenn Anderson in the middle. Anderson out there with Brendan Shanahan. And now this line will change it up for the Blues. They get Hull back up there on the ice. Hull with Shanahan. And there's the whistle on the two-line pass. 12:27 to go, third period. St. Louis Blues leading the Mighty Ducks by 2.
Rumors have been flying lately about a takeover. Then a mysterious email went out this morning.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on me to sell. I mean, big companies like to eat successful little companies for lunch. To stay independent, we need a blockbuster. I have a plan. I want to bid on Marcus Belfry's next book. Reggie,
Hook in the Network MCI business.
Get on the internet. Gather all the information on Belfry's last book. Ellen, I want you to get in touch with Marcus Belfry.
Look at that new Pontiac Sunfire. Now, if you take yours flying to some other planet, the standard 5-speed and fuel-injected engine will make those light years just kind of zip by. Speaking of the all-new Pontiac Sunfire, do you know how much extra the dual airbags and anti-lock brakes will cost you? That's right. 0. Nothing. The big O. Finally, a real set of wheels for around $12,500.
Blues trying to win their third straight against the Ducks this season, leading 4-2 here in the third. Other games of the National Hockey League that we've been keeping you abreast of. The Senators have closed that to a 1 goal, but that's all they got. Pittsburgh won it. There you see the 2-2 in the third. Guerin tying it up. The Sharks leading the Flames. Nieuwendyk the only goal there thus far for 4-2 here with the Blues on top. And the Ducks still have time. 12:13 to go. Plenty of time. Paul Kariya with LeBeau. 3 back for the Blues. Steve Duchesne, good play.
Right, that's a great idea to have 3 guys back with Paul Kariya winding up, because Steve Duchesne was able to stagger over into that outside lane, and Paul Kariya had no place to go wide. If you only got 2 guys back, a lot more room when you can skate like Kariya.
They shut him off. Adam Creighton comes the other way. Tepedorsky there to free the puck up for LeBeau. LeBeau and Sean Van Allen over there. Third ahead. No dice held on to by Creighton. He is a body to move. Deflected straight up in the air in front. Picked up by Correa. Paul Correa, the flip pass into the middle. St. Louis changing up behind the play. Sean Van Allen moves it in. Van Allen's got a 5-game scoring streak going. He's added to it tonight. And we told you Paul Correa's got a 6-game streak. That shot deflected and a penalty coming in the Blues. A holding call. And there'll be a power play coming up. Oh, here's the opportunity the Ducks have been waiting for. And what you've been waiting for, National Hockey Night next Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. We hope you'll join us. Wayne Gretzky and company, the Los Angeles Kings, take on Haute-Reserve and the San Jose Sharks. This game will be seen in the San Jose market next Sunday night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific for the Kings and the Sharks. Western Conference standings with 8 teams going to the playoffs, updated in light of the games that have been concluded. Detroit red hot. Look at how far they are ahead of those teams. There are the teams battling for position. Only 8 from each conference go to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
We may have to go to the 4th or 5th tiebreaker in this abbreviated season with the log jams that I think are going to exist for that last playoff spot.
What a great end of the season, though. Yeah. Every team except Ottawa really in it. Milos Holden shot, save in front. Rebound kicked in the air. Power play underway here for the Ducks. Baramnov got the holding call at 8:34. Ducks are 2 for 4 on the power play tonight. That is excellent for the Mighty Ducks power play, which came in here next to last in the league.
And they got 12 power play goals now in the year, 5 of them against St. Louis.
Well, if they can get another one, they can cut this to a 1-goal differential. Milos Holden. Now that was a high stick, but it won't matter. That's about as high as you can get it. The other team controlled the Ducks in their own zone, so there was no whistle on it. Power play here for the Mighty Ducks. Karpov drops it into the corner. Brett Hull out here in the penalty killing unit for the St. Louis Blues. Along with Shanahan up front. Milos Holden shot, save made by Curtis Joseph. Ripped wide on the rebound by Peter Doris. He didn't get much of that. Steve Ruchin in the corner. Backed up to Al McGinnis. St. Louis short-handed, and it's clear.
I'll tell you what, if the Blues haven't figured it out by now, somebody better send a bulletin to them. They've got to take away Milos Holden's shot. He can bring it, and he is wide open. Just tee off on it from the blue line.
Everybody we talked to on the Ducks this morning, the only thing they wanted to talk about when you said Milos Holden was the shot. Yeah, Paul Correa's offside. He wasn't. The teammate was. Elboy Gandy.
A lot of people tune in to see Paul Correa tonight, but another rookie getting on the ice now, Oleg Tebedorsky. You know, he is going to be an absolute star in this league. A lot of people already comparing him to Paul Coffey. He's a high draft pick. They think he has the offensive tools of a Coffey. He's got a bit of a problem now. He had a virus which has manifested itself now in an arthritic-type condition in his feet. It goes away and it flares up every 5 days or so. He's telling me today that he thinks he can go back to Russia for the Black Sea, put his feet in some ocean there, and it's going to cure it. If that's the case, Disney's buying that ocean.
Greg Johnson moving in.
Maybe they already own it.
Maybe they'll transport it over here to Disneyland. It's an anniversary season. Sean Van Allen, 30 seconds left on the power play. So if you put your feet in the big black dark sea, you can cure arthritis. Okay, Paul Correa sends it in. And you heard it here first.
Thanks down.
Here's the break. Esa Tikkanen short-handed. Tikkanen save. Rebound is covered. And the whistle. He's having a little chat there, telling him how if I'd have just had a little more wind, I'd have beat you on that.
The puck never did lie down for him, and you know what? It almost looked like he tried a little shovel shot, a gentle shot. He didn't get any wood on it at all. He's laughing at it. If the puck rolled from the time he brought it down. Right here, watch it. All right, he's going to lie down. I'm going to hit it once, a couple times. All he could do was laugh at it. Yeah, you can laugh when you've got a 4-2 lead.
Brett Hull exchanging pleasantries with one of the Stanley Cup winners, Esa Tikkanen. Look at those numbers. We have points per game up to a career high this year. In a shortened season, that really matters. The St. Louis Blues. Dump pass into the middle. Goes Sacco. Sacco will flip it into the corner. Power play over. 9:24 left to go. Third period. So the Ducks do not convert on that power play chance, and the Blues are able to maintain that 2-goal lead up by a score of 4-2. Johnson through the middle. Johnson's out there with Miller. Dropped with the holder over to Miller. Miller shot just deflected wide. Berner went down and blocked that. Set up behind the net. Gilbert trying to center. Knocked away. Sacco will circle in his own end before heading up ice. Sacco dumped into center. Holder's pass partially blocked. Miller over to get it. Kevin Miller heads to the bench literally as he and Joe Sacco were pinned up in front of the Ducks bench. Both of them halfway over. Bobby Corkum sends it out. Those two are just separating on the far side. Curtis Joseph steers it down. McGinnis. He's got Peter Doris in front of the net. Near side for Gilbert. Gilbert trying to dump it into the zone. Couldn't. Blocked by Robert Dirk. Blues at center. Chassé. Not heard a lot from Chassé tonight, and he's been a pretty important part of this team this season.
He has not played a lot at all, nor has Tony Twist or Guy Carbonneau. This is basically the fourth line tonight. They've only had a couple of shifts of period.
Just enough to keep the blood flowing out there has been about it. Robert Dirk sent it through, couldn't intercept that one, sent through center. Karpov dumped it in. Joseph was there to leave it again. McGinnis around the boards. 8:05 left to go. The Ducks are going to have to take some chances offensively here. Try and cut this lead down. Jeff Norton sends it in. Guy Bear drops it off for Dirk. That'll be whistled as he hangs on to it. 7:56 to go in the third period on National Hockey Night for the Blues up.
This is you. This is the commercial you see. This is the number you call. This is the operator you talk to. This is the stuff that arrives. This is the number you call. This is the box that comes. This is the machine you get. This is the number you call. These are the exercises you do. This is the number you call. This is how long it takes. This is how many times a week you do it. This is the number you call. This is how your dog looks at you. This is how your pants fit. This is the number you call. This is how you'll feel when you're done. This is the number you call. The SoloFlex Muscle Machine, just $39 a month. Call now for a free brochure and video. This is the number you call.
The guy that's always good for a laugh is Atikin. Remember last year when he played for the Rangers in the playoffs, how he was blowing kisses to the opposition, especially against Washington? Well, now he's changed his style. He wasn't talking to Guy Bear. He's yelling at the puck. Look.
But I'm trying to shoot you. Sit down. Or something like that. Words to better. And nobody wants to touch the puck here. Murray Barron did. That freed it up for Paul Correa. Anaheim dumps it behind the net. Curtis Joseph came back to get it. Sent it around, not out as Robert Dirk moved over. Back is Shanahan again. Shanahan's been out there with Anderson and Hull all night, as Hull has played center all night long on this line. Third game that he's moved from the wing to that position and does not have a point to show for it thus far tonight. Not yet. Brett Hull, checking the numbers as far as what he has done scoring-wise. He is second to Lemieux, of course, all time in goals per game. 431 now, 36, but it has dropped down a bit this season, even though he's second in goals in the league coming into tonight's game behind Jaromir Jagr.
He'll probably play just about half of this game. He's logging a lot of ice time. There he is. He won that face-off. He was 7 for 12 through a couple of periods. And he's done, you know what? Brett Hull, like anybody else, if he sticks with it, is going to get pretty good. He's too strong and too fast not to be good on face-offs if he just sticks with it.
And too proud not to stick with it. Centering pass by Correa. Van Allen tipped it away. Hull's 9 for 15.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Correa's centering pass taken by Murray Barron, and Barron clears it out. 4-2 lead for the Blues in this game. Another icing call coming up here. With 6:53 left to go, the shots have diminished here in the third. 27-25 in favor of the Blues right now. For the Mighty Ducks, trying to get the 500 at home. Struggling here in this one to get it done, and with 15 of the next 24 at home, this Ducks team needs to take advantage of this home ice and these sellout crowds if they're going to make a run at the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Check at these rankings and see how they've changed since last year. Defensively, last year this team was 10th. The Ducks were this year 24th. Penalty killing 7th last year, 26th this year. But as Ron Wilson explained today, the defensive numbers are traceable to the penalty killing numbers. That's been a problem tonight, but it has been most of the season.
Off this face-off, Ducks trickle it along in front. The Blues are making sure they've got people back. Milos Holland sent it in, would have been offside. Lidster got it up for Creighton. Did not touch that one. Does now as he tried to poke it in. Covered up by Geehee there. Let's check in on our studios, the National Hockey Night, Steve Levy.
Gary to Calgary. The Sharks were leading the Flames by a score of 2-1. Dan Kesmer's shot is stopped. The rebound of Robert Reichel, and Zarley Zalapski puts it home. ZZ Top makes it a 2-2 tie.
There you see our score here. Interesting question. I was talking with a writer today who votes for the awards that are given in the National Hockey League. They don't know how they're going to do that this year because writers cover usually teams and they've only played within a conference. Right. So they haven't had a chance to see the other conference players. I guess the discussion right now is to have writers vote within their own conference and then have some select group put together to vote on those nominations for the final awards. Karamnov behind the net. Karamnov tried to center, lost the puck along the boards. Joe Sacco got it up. Bobby Corkum clears it out. Mighty Ducks need one here. Brought in by Corkum. Blues are up by 2. Corkum, centering pass right in the middle, knocked away Curtis Joseph. The battle as a ticket in behind the net took down Gary Falk, and that was a battle shot in. Curtis Joseph made the save. Joe Sacco got a one-hander. Sacco again. Sacco looking for help in front. He's got Bobby Corkum, but it was deflected by Lidster. And clear.
Well, this is the line you talked about, Gary. They're not producing like they did last year, but it ain't for lack of effort. Boy, oh boy, a great rush by Bobby Corkum and a one-hand pass. Sacco's been working like crazy, and so has Gary Ball. It's just not happening.
Milos Holland stays out there, dumps it back in. Jeff Norton comes back to get it. Norton up through the middle, poke checked away by Kevin Miller of the Blues. Ducks changing up. Karpov comes out on the ice. Peter Doris moving it in. Doris immediately pinned up. Good play by Hall, who went after him along the boards. Will they dig this out? Kevin Miller's over there. Norton's over there. Down they go. Puck came free. Steve Ruchin. Ruchin pinned up immediately. Not a lot of room over there in the corner with Norton jamming away for the Blues. Norton reaches in on Doris. Doris got it back in behind the net. Ruchin looking to center in the side of the net with a pass. Cleared up by Miller as he ices it. They needed a line change. It'll stop the clock with 4 minutes 51 seconds left in regulation and the Blues leading.
Do you know how much sprinkles you got? More from this can than you thought. Fill the bowl from a Pringles can. Got as much as this bag. Amazing, man. Can you believe how much Pringles you got? So pop, the Pringles don't stop. Get the great taste you want, not the greasy mess this bag's got. Pringles, once you pop, so much more than you ever thought. You can't stop.
Hey, look, it's the new Pontiac Sunfire. Now, if you take yours dog sledding in the Yukon, all that interior room means, for once, your sled dogs won't argue about who gets in front. Or if you take your new Pontiac Sunfire zipping over to that Pisa place, the sport suspension and high revving engine mean you'll really enjoy driving it at full tilt. Finally, a real set of wheels for around $12.5, the all-new Pontiac Sunfire.
Still do that YMCA kind of thing. Come on, guys, give it to us now. YMCA. There you go. Huh? Perfect. Perfect. Music that never dies, even though it should have. Oh, cleared up off the boards to center. Paul Correa to chase that one down. When you're a Gladys Knight fan, YMCA just don't cut. You love this ball. I did. 3-on-2 break. Here's a chance for the Mighty Ducks. Davidowski in the corner. Barron fell down, tipped on Curtis Joseph. He deflected it wide. 3-on-2 break, but they could not convert. The attempted clear ends up in the seats. Our Pringles storyline here at the pond tonight. Shanahan, his 8th goal of the season, a go-ahead goal. Paul Correa, 2 assists, 11 points in the last 6 games. Al McGinnis has added 3 assists for St. Louis tonight, and on the power play, St. Louis with 1 and Anaheim 2.
Our Pringles replay is one of the many saves that Curtis Joseph has made in this game. From our goal cam, the 3-on-2 that ended up right on his doorstep. He has had to be dog-like quick. Well, he was the cat, you know, in college. Yes. But then Felix from Toronto took that nickname away, and he had to go through a pet change operation and become Cujo the dog.
Makes for a better helmet. Speaking of helmets, El Morganti.
Well, thanks, Gary. We spent yesterday with Mike Keenan up in Los Angeles. Mike doing a story for us on ESPN on riding his Harley Davidson. So we set him up with a bike from a dealership over there in L.A. We're through with the ride, go back to the dealership. I think, well, maybe Keenan's going to buy the helmet or the boots. He bought the motorcycle, having it shipped back to St. Louis this week.
That's a great story. Save made. Curtis Joseph again.
That was one face-off Brett Hull lost right there.
And a big save. With 4:14 left to go. Brendan Shanahan, save made by Guy Hébert as it opens up now. Center to Correa. Correa just checked that into the zone. Bill Holder comes back to get it. Our El Morganti is a Harley fan along with Mike Keenan. That's pretty good, though. Shot in, a whistle behind the play here. Penalty coming up.
Yeah, and it's against Glenn Anderson, and it's the same kind of play that a lot of people, if they were watching SportsCenter, saw Eric Lindros use in Florida. He torqued the guy coming through the neutral zone, where he spun his check around, torqued him into the ice, and that's why Anderson was wide open in front of Guy Hébert. That was a good call by Rob Schick. They're hard to see. They're away from the puck.
All the basketball news coming up in the NCAA Sweet 16. SportsCenter.
Timeout.
Either team has used it. We're going to get one used here, it looks like. Rob Schick coming over to signal. Timeout taken by. He pointed right straight down the red line.
Yes, he did.
So Glenn Anderson, the penalty. Here's the chance the Ducks needed with 3:56 to go. They'll go on the power play for the opportunity to make this a one-goal game, with the Blues leading right now 4-2. While they take the timeout, let's check in with Steve Levy.
Gary, and here we go again. We just showed you a couple of minutes ago the tying goal for the Flames. Well, Calgary's at it again. Theo Fleury wins the draw, charges towards the net. Steve Chason scores the goal. He's been credited with it right now.
Back here, the big surprise in St. Louis for a lot of guys was Mike Keenan and what he's really like. Brett Hull talked to us today about the biggest surprise he had.
Calmness that he has. Never loses composure at all, whether we're up, whether we're down, whether he's down on a player at certain times. He's always very level-headed. He gets his point across very easily and without raising his voice, and that was the biggest surprise. I was expecting sticks flying all over the room and things like that, so it's been a very pleasant surprise.
Well, the season hasn't ended yet, Brett.
Give it time. Just give it time.
It was very interesting, Brett's comments, and really, Brett was as pessimistic about the potential for his relationship with Mike Keenan as anyone.
He thought he was gone.
Exactly.
Yep.
But then some advice from some people over in Sweden on the Gretzky tour that had played for Mike Keenan, namely Mark Messier, and Wayne Gretzky has played for Mike Keenan in Canada Cup situations. Steve Larmer, they said, work hard for him, and everything will take care of itself. That's what's happened.
That's what he's done. No question he's improved his defensive game. Here's a huge power play chance for the Ducks, who are trailing by 2. They picked up 2 power play goals. Milos Holland shot that one right into Hull. Hull trying to bang it out. Holland blocked the first one. Not this time. Norton clears.
Yeah, that time Brett Hull was much closer to Milos Holland than any other penalty killer had been in this game. They're catching on. He's got the big cannon.
Get out there and don't let him wind up. Bobby Dallas working a point on this power play. Minutes 16 left on the power play chance. Milos Holland sends it in wide of Curtis Joseph. Norton again plays it up. Esa Tikkanen just tipped it into the zone. Guy Hébert comes back to get it. Anderson out at 16:04 on the hook, giving this power play to the Mighty Ducks. Their best chance to get this back to a one-goal game. Paul Correa sends it in. Doris going deep. Peter Doris never got there. Steve Duchesne held him up. Puck loose behind the net. Held on to by Correa. Correa pinned up on the boards, just dumped it back. They've gotten stuck in that corner a lot in the power play. Correa able to work it free up to the point. Paul Correa top of the circle. Correa takes it. Save made by Curtis Joseph and no rebound.
That's the one place Paul Correa didn't want to shoot that one. Right at him. Absolutely right at him. For one thing, he's not going to score. For another thing, he's not going to get a rebound when he gets it up that high into his chest, just below his chest, into the belly area. If it's lower on the pads, then it becomes tougher to control. Paul Correa has a good enough shot. He should use it as much as he does. He said, where that hit Curtis Joseph, you're not going to get a rebound. Yeah, Paul Correa said, you know, I've always been a setup guy. I've started shooting more, so I'm liking it. He's also learned how to play the high slot a little better and get open more.
Simplifying his game. Ron Wilson says the most important thing he's doing right now. Get rid of the fancy stuff, simplify the game, try and help put points on the board. Correa takes the shot, ended up going off the heel of the stick. He went through a spree where he had only 1 goal in 13 games. He's got 10 on the year. Deflected. Sean Van Allen tried to get it out in front. Couldn't. Pina Doris behind the net. Lost it to Al McGinnis. Power play, 5 seconds left on it, and Brett Hall chipped it over the glass and into the seats. All out there, penalty killing unit, power play, and his even strength job. College basketball, the NIT second round coming up on ESPN tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Brad Nessler and Larry Conley will have Virginia Tech taking on Providence. And at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, from the Oral Roberts University Center, it'll be Pfeiffer out of North Carolina against Birmingham Southern. That's NIT championship, or second round action, and NAIA championship action, both tomorrow night. Penalty is over. Glenn Anderson out of the box, so the Ducks do not convert on that power play chance. And with 1:49 left to go, it's all out now as the Blues continue to lead it by a score of 4-2. Trying to beat the Ducks for the 3rd time this season. Esa-Tikkanen came up. Big goal added this period has made the difference to make it 4-2. And the Mighty Ducks, despite power play opportunities, have not been able to get this thing back to 1. At center, Adam Creighton tipped it, and it'll be whistled on a delayed offside call. With 1:25 remaining, we'll keep an eye on Guy Hebert.
Well, you can say what you want about Mike Keenan's techniques, whether you agree with them or not. You cannot argue with the results that Mike Keenan gets. And you know what? If you're a player, and I think Brett Hull will be the first one to admit this now, if you're a player and you stay with Mike Keenan for any length of time at all, you will become a stronger person. He challenges his athletes, a la Mike Ditka, a la Bobby Knight. And if you're with Keenan for any length of time at all, you will become a stronger person.
Almost without a choice.
That's part of surviving a Mike Keenan regime. And guess what? The players know that if they can stay with Mike long enough, they're going to get a crack at the big one because Mike knows how to win.
Adam Creighton muscling it into the zone. Ramnos goal at 5:42 from Creighton McGinnis. The only goal in this period. Shot Esa-Tikkanen, saved by Guy Hebert, and we're in the final minute of regulation play. Shots are even at 29 with the Blues have the 4-2 lead. And St. Louis now just dumping it in as Lidster sent it in deep. The Mighty Ducks are going to lose their 16th of the season, and St. Louis is going to go 15, 8-2. Glenn Anderson, center, Shanahan, saved by Guy Hebert, down on the ice again. Good setup. Brett Hull pokes it in a little deeper. Bobby Dallas going down. LeBeau. LeBeau sends it around the boards. 26 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. St. Louis Blues will play Los Angeles. Again, they played them last Thursday. They'll play them tomorrow night. Sean Hull deflected, and Guy Hebert knocks it down. 4-2, Blues on top. This will be their 3rd win this season against the Mighty Ducks. And what he added, Mike Keenan, to this team were winners. Established winners. Those who have won the cup with Esa-Tikkanen on top there with 5 rings.
And these are the guys that were brought in before the season started. Glenn Anderson just signed with the team a few weeks ago. He's got 6.
Anderson wasn't going to play, then changed his mind. Mike Keenan called and said, come on, give me one more.
Yeah.
Cleared out of the zone by the Blues. 7 seconds remaining to go here in National Hockey Night. Picked up and dumped in wide by Karpov. And that's it. The St. Louis Blues have beaten the Mighty Ducks for the 3rd time as Curtis Joseph. Another strong night in net for the St. Louis Blues. Guy Hebert did his job, but not enough. Curtis Joseph now 12-7-1. Guy Hebert goes to 5-11 and 3. We will be back to the pond to wrap this game up. Our final score, the Blues 4 and the Ducks 2. Find out what else is going on. We'll check in with Steve and Mike.
Gary, thanks. We'll get back to you gentlemen shortly. So, Mike, the Blues now have 15 wins on the season. Of the 15, 10 have now come against the weak Pacific Division.
Steve, I'm sure Mike Keenan could care less where the wins come from. As long as they're in the win column, that's what counts for their opponents tonight, the Ducks. They played well, but even when they play well, it's still a tough way to go. They just can't find a way to win right now.
Hockey is trying to rival college basketball, even a great NBA game today. A couple of fantastic finishes around the NHL. Scores and highlights are coming up for you. Sports Center with Keith and Dan comes your way in about 6 minutes from now. You stay tuned on National Hockey Night. The Blues a 4-2 winner over the Ducks tonight.
I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, I took the high endurance challenge from Old Spice because I didn't really